exhibits provide for playful learning and celebrates curiosity.
For more information, please visit ilovethebronx.com.
PSE&G is committed to providing outstanding service to our 2.3 million customers. We're honored that J.D. Power has named us #1 in customer satisfaction with both residential electric and natural gas service in the East among large utilities. These awards are a testament to our efforts to continually improve the customer experience. Thank you for rating us as a top utilities provider. For J.D. Power 2022 award information, visit pseg.com/JD Power.
Which news time 3:56. Now Bloomberg Money Watch. Here's Andrew O'Day.
More of us have been having problems with companies' products and services of late. The National Customer Rage Survey, conducted by the group Customer Care Measurement and Consulting, finds that over the past year, 3/4 of us have experienced a product or service problem. That's up from 2/3 in 2020 and only 1/3 in 1976. What's also up is our complaining, with 9% taking revenge action, such as publicly shaming a company in person or online. That's up from 3% in 2020. The threat of a subpoena vote scheduled for tomorrow was enough to persuade Starbucks interim CEO Howard Schultz to agree to testify before a Senate panel this month. Schultz had earlier refused the invitation to testify about complaints.
All right. Hello, James Farley. How's it going? Wow, you've been waiting for me all day. Wow, cool. Well, I mean, good to hear that. All right, let me fix this camera. Audio. Okay, I got the green light blinking there, so that means I'm good. I had to reboot my internet. Let me fix these things right here. So, I think the next thing is this camera. I'm going to have to upgrade. Let me see. That's better. It's better. I think I need to do something to diffuse the light. See, I'm getting different lights. Oh my God. I gotta put the camera closer. I think that's what I used to do before. I think what I used to do is, I think when I first started streaming, I used to put the camera up close more. But I don't know. I don't want people to be staring at my ugly mug too much. But then again, I don't want to be too close to the microphone. And plus, I'm always hitting the microphone. Yep.
Donate your card today. Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate. If you were hurt at work, or if your job...
Yeah. Okay. Let me just do this. It will make sense to just put this on, see how the conditions are right now. Yeah, wow. Not that good today. Wow. Let me check. I got to check the CB radio. Wow, 25 megahertz is gone. Let me see. Maybe that's why my transceiver doesn't want to go all the way to 20 watts. Wow. Oh, channel 9, something's already going on. One, two, three. That's over week. All right. Oh, anyway, over there. So, hello everybody. My name is Danny. I am located in Yonkers, New York, USA, and I'm going to be on for the next couple of hours. Talk about radio related stuff or anything that you guys want to talk about. Of course, this past Saturday we had the SWL Fest. It was a virtual one. Excuse me. I was here. Of course, I did a live stream on Saturday because Jules didn't do his live stream, so I decided to come on Saturday. I was there before, but then when I first logged in there, I think it was just that presenter. Because when I logged in, there was something they were talking about how to buy an old radio or something. Because there's different events. So I think the guy that was presenting that, I don't know, maybe it was kind of a little boring for me. And plus, I've been on Zoom a bunch of times. Especially virtual learning for my son. And normally on Zoom, somebody's like, for example, in the classroom, the teacher's presenting the class, the work. Or there's a whole bunch of students on the Zoom, but they're all muted. And that makes sense because you don't want them talking while she's presenting. But everybody was showing their video. They're allowed to show their video. In this case, when I went to look at the presentation, you wasn't allowed to show the video. Like they not only they muted you, but they I guess you have to. I found out later on what happened. So either of course, they mute you, and they also don't allow you to, post your video, yourself video. And I was like, because I saw a lot of people, their name, but I didn't see no pictures or nothing. I'm like, the reason why I logged into the the reason why I paid the $5 for the Shortwave, the SWFLs was to see people. I wanted to see a few people that, I see the names, but I don't know who they are. Like I would like to see a face with the name. So there was a couple of people that I saw that I just, I seen that on the Facebook group and Jill's Facebook group on Official SW, and I got to see their face. I'm like, okay, this is cool. But not during that presentation. I guess they did that whole, we're gonna mute everybody, and we're not gonna let people show themselves on video. But then after the live stream, I went back in there, and I was there till past midnight. After that, I was there till past midnight. And there was a whole bunch of nice presentations. The last guy, he was tuning into pirate radio stations in New York City, right here in New York City, because we have a bunch of them in this area. We have a bunch of pirate FM. On FM, we have a bunch of pirate stations. So he was tuning to some of them. He was just tuning the band, the FM band, and he was talking about, which is pretty cool. That was pretty cool. I like that. That was one of the because it was just laid back and he was just tuning and he was talking about all the different pirate stations and things like that. And then he had like an antenna right next to him. He kept moving it. He was inside his apartment. And he kept rotating this antenna. And everybody asked him, what is that antenna? And he said it's a Godar. Godar. I seen those antennas on eBay. So he said he uses that for FM, to, I guess, pick up pirate stations on FM. And I seen that antenna on eBay, but they're very expensive. It's like an amplified antenna for indoors. And it has a whip, but it's a box. It has different ones. And they're all over $100. But I thought they were junk. I never thought about buying one. Because I never heard of it. And I looked it up on YouTube, and somebody posted that it's not all that. But he claims it works well. So now he got me interested in that antenna for FM. It's Godar. Godar. So that's the people I didn't have a website too, but I seen them on eBay a lot. So he was rotating this antenna every time he would tune FM. And I was like, I was going to ask him, but somebody asked him before me, what is that antenna that you're using? And he says, Godar. So that was pretty cool. And then there was another one before that. Actually before that one, because they also did Sheldon Harvey did a nice it's like a memorial. So it's like for the past hour, for 1 hour, he was talking about all the people um that passed away that were in radio, whether they were locally to that club or famous people that had passed away in radio. So the last one was Arnie Coro. That was the last one that he talked about, was Arnie Coro. Last but not least, and then so he spoke about him. It was a very nice thing. I won't say it was moving, but it was nice. It was nice that they do that every year. I didn't know that the Shortwave festival does that every year. They kind of remember the ones that passed away in the past year, which is kind of nice. That was kind of nice. I liked that. That was pretty cool. So he mentioned a few people. One of them was Vince Scully, of course. He was a famous radio announcer for also television too, for the Major League Baseball, the voice of the Dodgers. So he mentioned him. Of course, locally, he passed away a few months ago. Bernard McGurk. He was a radio host for WABC. So he had mentioned him too, that he passed away, which he did pass away a few months ago. And I used to listen to that morning show. Not all the time, but I used to listen to it, often enough. And I remember him going back to Imus in the morning when they were on WFAN. So they go way back. So they mentioned him too. So it was pretty nice that he did that. And I didn't know they do that every year, which is pretty cool. And then there was another guy that he had I guess he lived in Bali, Indonesia. And he was showing his his station, like radio. His hut where he does he has an online radio station, which is pretty cool. And he was talking about all this stuff. And he was showing his setup over there in the remote area of jungle. It's kind of it's like in Indonesia, like in I don't want to say remote area, but it's kind of remote. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to see that setup. I was like, wow, No, I didn't see I try not to follow that stuff every day because when I invest, I try not to listen to the daily news about money, because then that's what makes people panic sell, and I'm not doing that. Anyway, getting back to so it was pretty nice to see it the setup in Indonesia. He had a folded dipole with rabbit ears, like vertically. I don't have rabbit ears. Like he had a folded. I think he got that one from RTL SDR. They sell that one. He's a folded dipole telescoping. So he had a setup this way, like a vertical, which is pretty cool. He also had an MLA 30. He had a bunch of other vertical antennas. It was pretty cool. It was overall it was nice. I think when I went in early, I expected to be like a lot of people right there and all that. And what it is a bunch of presentations, and then in between the presentations, that's when you got at the end of the presentation you can ask questions. That's when they let everybody they have to raise their hand, of course, and they let everybody speak. So I'm definitely going to sign up for next year. So next year I'm going to sign up for that. And of course, when I logged in, the discussion at that time was about if you still, they want to keep the virtual one for now on. So every year they're going to have a virtual one, but they also want to have a live one. So a lot of people are complaining about that. Not complaining, but some people are saying that if it's a one-day event, I don't see myself driving all the way down to wherever just to do a one-day event. It's going to cost too much money. And some people have concerns about COVID. Some people were saying that they should do a regional meetup, because some people live in Canada, some people live on the West Coast. which I agree. I don't think if I lived on the West Coast, because I think they held it I think most of the time they held it in Pennsylvania, which is right next to my state. I'm right near Pennsylvania. It's like a few hours drive where they normally host it at. So for me, it would be like a few hour drive. I'll be there for a few hours, all day, and then maybe snooze for a few hours, and then I come back. I didn't even have to stay at a hotel. But that's me. And they were talking about doing it up in Albany, upstate New York, which would have been the same thing. It's just a few hour drive. And then probably, sleep in the car or something. Or just get a cheap motel where I could sleep for a few hours, which I don't know. But I understand that one day event would have been too costly. And it's mostly for a handful of people. I guess the people that founded it, the club, and a few people that's been there for a long time. Like me, I'm new. I was new to it. That was my first time there. So I didn't know anybody there. Only like I saw Jill's in there. I saw Bobby. Bobby was there. I saw a couple of people. And that was it. And I saw a few other people, but they don't, I mean, I don't want to say this. One says hi to me, the other one never says hi to me. I don't know what's her problem, but whatever. Anyway, whatever. Although I was, I answered a question when she posted it, and when, it just, it's kind of nice to say hi to people when people say hi back to you. When people say hi to you in the chat, just say hi back. Acknowledge the person. At least, don't be like, hi everybody. And people take their time to say hello to you. You should say hi back to everybody that say hello to you. Unless it's unless you get overwhelmed with too many hellos. I don't know. It's more than once that this happened with this person. I don't know what's the problem with me. I don't know. Maybe she just doesn't like me. I don't. Oh well. Yeah. Well, they did have recordings of it, and the people that paid for it, they sent me all the recorded links. But the agreement is we're not allowed to post it, so I can't show you those presentations, James, because that was the deal. I wish they didn't do that. I wish they would allow. I wish they would allow me to show it so that people could see what it was, and maybe that'll motivate more people to. But they made it clear. We're gonna post the links for you to keep, but please do not post them everywhere. Do not post them anywhere. That was that's what they asked. So basically, anybody that paid for that gets the and we have a set amount of time to download them, I guess, or view them. So I'm just gonna download the one. Well, actually, I'm gonna watch all of them because I didn't get to see some in the beginning. Because that's another thing that, like, for example, the Friday, I didn't get my password until Saturday morning because when I paid the $5, I did it the week before, and I was waiting for my login info, and I never got it. And then I figured, okay, they're gonna send it right before Friday, and I overlooked it. And then Friday went by, and I was like, oh my god, I forgot it was Friday. And I never did that. I never, because it's like a 2-day event. If it was Friday night and then all of Saturday. And I never got the login. So Saturday morning when I woke up, I was like, it already started, but I don't have my login info. So I emailed them. They sent me the login info. And then by the time I logged in there, it was already, I think like around 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Around 12 o'clock or so. And that's when I ran into that presentation, the one that about the talk. I think it was just how to buy an old radio. It sounded interesting in a way, but I guess the presentation was, I don't know. I shouldn't say that because they all turn out to be interesting. So, but anyway, I'm definitely going to sign up next year. It was $5. It was through PayPal. You got to pay to PayPal. I know Keegan had an issue with the PayPal. He said he doesn't use PayPal. So I should have brought that up when they were asking questions about that, about the payment. I should have spoke for Keegan because Keegan was in there. I should have said, "Can you guys do an alternate payment plan than PayPal?" But and when Keegan comes, I'm gonna explain to him. I think PayPal is the only way they're gonna do it. It's only because that's run by 1 or 2 people only. It's not like a big organization that runs that. It's actually volunteers. They all volunteer to do that. So the only way they can collect anything is through PayPal. That's and it makes sense because PayPal, you pay me on PayPal. I got the money right there on my account already. It's instantaneous. The problem with a credit card merchant is if you know, for example, you use a credit card, that takes time to process. And when you pay for licensing on Zoom, it is expensive, especially if you're gonna host a few hundred people. It gets expensive. Like if you're doing Zoom for 1 or 2 people, that's nothing. That's free. It's free. And I think there's a time limit. I think it's not the whole day. I think you have a so when you want a license to use Zoom for like 300 people and the whole day event or 2-day event is expensive. It's not cheap. So I think in Keegan's case, when he comes on, I think he's gonna have to get PayPal. I think it's just it's the nature of the thing. It's sometimes I know some people don't like PayPal, but I have it. I don't use it often, but when I use it, is when it's needed. You know, and some places just prefer PayPal. I have PayPal for my donations. I prefer people to donate me through PayPal because I get all of it. Like the problem with YouTube is if you donate through me to YouTube, YouTube takes 30% of what you donate. Excuse me, there you go. So I prefer PayPal. Like the super chat is nice, but if you're gonna donate to me, if you really and it doesn't have to be during the live stream, it could be anytime. I prefer PayPal. You send me directly to my PayPal. I have my PayPal link on my channel. You'll see it on the about. You'll see it on the banner. Is there too? PayPal link. I prefer PayPal because I'll get all of it. If you donate $20, I'm gonna get $20, and they charge you a small little fee. That's it. But YouTube, if you send me $20, I'm not getting $20. I'm getting minus 30%. Which and off the top I can't do the math, but you get the idea. It's like so if you send me $10, no, it's $6. Excuse me, it's about $6. So I'll get $14. They take $6, I get $14. That's a big bite, 30%. So of course, donations help. Like for example, James Farley, that donation he gave me, when I got paid, I wound up getting this. I got another Switch. $38 shipping and everything. I got a Switch, another Switch to my shack. All this money goes back, and I also bought another radio. I bought the XHDATA D-109. That's coming in a few days. I have good reviews on that little radio, and I definitely gonna make a review on that radio. I was very interested on that radio since Jim's Radio Check posted it, but now I see a whole bunch of people posted it, including Two Hands on a Radio. He posted it, which is a new video, by the way. It is a new video. So I'm gonna say that first of all, I'm gonna say that I was wrong. I guess he is running his account now. For a while, I thought he wasn't running the account, but he just came out with a brand new video. So now, no, he's not doing. I guess I guess he's not doing no more reruns, or he's still putting reruns. But that video is pretty new. It might be a couple of weeks, but he posted a video. It was the XHZ. Of course, he did a good review on it, and so I just wish that he would take off his comments. But other than that, I'm not gonna talk about that anymore. But he did post a new video, so we're done with that speculation. He is running that channel. I'm done with the speculation. I was wrong. And I was wrong on that. But for a while I thought, but Now that he posted a new video, that ends that speculation. Now the only thing I can hope is that he's doing well, health wise, because maybe that's the reason why he doesn't want to comment. He doesn't want people to comment. He doesn't want to comment and so on. He doesn't want people to comment. I hope he's okay. I hope health wise he's fine. And I wish him luck. That's all I can say. All right. So let me read some of the comments, and then I'm going to talk about something else. And for people watching, 5 likes, thank you. 25 minutes now. And yeah. James Farley, I'm getting CHU. I'm 14.6. Oh, I have to put this radio because this one is offline. 14 megahertz. Nope. Wow, really? Wow. Yeah, but I'm telling you, something's going on today. Anyway, I'll get back to that later. Glenn Dansler worked all day on my friend's farm, pretty painful. So may not chat much. We'll enjoy the broadcast. Thank you. And well, take it easy. Rest well. And good evening, Peter. Yes, it's evening over there. I know it's evening. Right here it's 4:22 in the afternoon. Of course, after next Sunday is gonna be an hour later. We're gonna have a daylight savings time. Yeah. So have you heard Jay Powell's speech? Like I said, I don't really. I'm bloom. I try not to listen to all that. I mean, I hear it in the morning. I hear all the stuff that's gonna happen because I do listen to the news and all that, and I do watch sometimes. But again, I try not to listen to all that because whether they're gonna raise rates or whatever. Because to me it's irrelevant. I'm in it for long term. I'm investing for the long term, so it's irrelevant to me. And I don't like to listen to all that stuff because it just people panic and people panic, and that's what happened to me in the past. I would panic sell or something, and I learned my lesson. I was at one. It was a I this one guy I follow on my crypto channel. His cryptos are us. So hello, Hamster George, right? George, I remember George. Yeah, the Mexico. Hola de Puerto Morelos, Mexico. And hello. And let me also put the live chat before it gets crazy. Because I got it on tab chat too. Here we go. Okay, live chat. Okay, so I gotta see another post. Okay, so before I fall behind. So 6 people watching, thank you. Yeah, mi amigo. Yeah, so yeah, I was watching the live stream the other day, the repeat. I was, and I was watching about that, and I was thinking about that. The $400 a month, man, that's nice. That's nice. Because over here, there was an article the other day, and it was about the happiest cities. So Yonkers is ranked number 18, I guess, in the United States, as the happiest cities. I'm going to tell you right now, he's not the happiest city. I don't know what they're smoking when they make these, I guess, these polls. Like Yonkers is like the 18th happiest city in America. I can tell you right now that is not the case. That is not the case. We pay the highest amount of taxes. Westchester County, because Yonkers is part of Westchester County. We pay the highest taxes in the country. And by the way, we have to pay Yonkers tax too. So when we work, for example, when I was living in the Bronx and I was working for Kawasaki here in Yonkers, I lived in the Bronx. I had to pay, of course, everybody pays the federal tax, right? Of course, I had to pay New York State tax. But since I lived in the Bronx, I had to pay New York City tax. But since I worked in Yonkers, I had to pay Yonkers tax too. Even though I lived in the Bronx, I had to pay Yonkers tax. So Yonkers charges his own tax for his citizens. So when I'm working, I had to pay federal tax. Of course, everybody pays. Yeah, of course, federal. Everybody has to pay that, even if you live in Florida. New York State tax, which is one of the highest, by the way. New York State tax is not cheap. And I had to pay Yonkers tax, Yonkers City tax, because I live in Yonkers. So I don't want to hear that nonsense that we're happy here. No, we're not happy here. And let me tell you something about Yonkers. If you walk down the street, a lot of these sidewalks are messed up. And Yonkers has the most narrowest streets ever. And some of them are two-way streets. They use a one-way street and turn it into a two-way street. So you see people parked on the sidewalk sometimes. People have to park on the sidewalk to run in the store and buy something. Because if they park it on the curb, there's no way two-way traffic can get through there. So I don't know whether it was smoking when they say that Yonkers is one of the happiest cities in America. That is a lie. I can tell you that right now. And when I moved to Yonkers, I lived in the Bronx all my life. When I moved to Yonkers, I'm thinking, okay, Yonkers is a suburb. Wow, people are going to be a lot friendlier. Wrong. Okay? There's just as many a-holes here than there are in the Bronx. I see more dog crap in the sidewalks over here in Yonkers than I've been in the Bronx, in my own neighborhood in the Bronx. In my own neighborhood in the Bronx, I didn't see so many dog poop as I seen walking in the streets of Yonkers. So that is a lie about being happy in Yonkers. That is a big lie. So that poll, I don't know who they were smoking. And now, don't get me wrong, there's some parts of Yonkers that are really expensive. Just right over the hill, those houses are over almost $1 million. They're right over this hill. And when you're in my backyard, there's a hill that goes all the way. If I walk up that hill and I go to the other side, it's the same zip code. And that side of Yonkers is a lot more expensive houses than this side of Yonkers. Okay? And if I walk down that way to South Broadway to Getty Square, that's nothing but homeless people in the street, crackheads, hanging on the street. All types of stuff happens over there. A lot of crime happens over there. So that is a lie, again, about happy city in Yonkers. Okay? I'm going to give Yonkers their fair share, though. Now, the school-wise, public schools, Yonkers public schools are among one of the best in the country. In terms of public school, because the reading score rate and the math score has ranked up there. And I know that because I see my son when I take him to school. That school is a good school. I'm going to say for public school, that's one thing I'm going to give them a thumbs up on, is their public schools are pretty good. They're nowhere near New York City public schools. No way. Yonkers schools, in fact, a Yonkers public school is almost as good as a charter school in New York City. Because the classes are not that big. Each class right now is like under, like my son's class, it's like 24 kids. It's not big. When I went to public school in the Bronx, we had 30 plus kids in the class, easily. And we're talking about 1970s. I can imagine now. Now you gotta have 2 teachers. And we didn't have teachers assistant. Now you gotta have 2 teachers. Anyway, yeah, that's fine. Anyway, so let me get off the topic but anyway, I just wanted to mention that. Yeah. Yeah, I know it's crazy. James Farley, I guess you would say that Yonkers is the crappiest town. Well, no, it's not that bad. I mean, I've been to real bad areas. I went to bad areas. I went to Niagara Falls, New York. You know, but I was staying at a hotel. But I walked through the neighborhood of Niagara Falls, New York, and it looks like Detroit. It looks like Detroit. And I was looking at documentaries about it, and it makes sense. A lot of people left Niagara Falls, New York, because they had this promise that it was going to be like, if you go to Niagara Falls, Canada, it looks like Las Vegas. But if you go to Niagara Falls, New York, it's a slum. The only thing they have is a state park. They have one casino, and that's it. And the state park with the American Falls. But the area around Niagara Falls, New York, is, because we were thinking about buying a house there. And yeah, no, it is the crappiest. Yeah, it is. You know why, James? You're right. Because I lived in the Bronx. In my block, I never had to look down so much in my life. Over here, I have to walk. As soon as I leave my area and go down the block, like when I walked my son to school, oh my God, we're dodging out dog poo every 20, 30 feet, there's dog poo. Like, people are so irresponsible. Yeah. All right, George, I'm sorry. So I have something interesting about SDR. Yeah, of course. Go ahead. Yeah, George, I'm sorry. Let me drink some water in the meanwhile. Aziz Hash me. Hi, Dan. What's your qualification? Are you an engineer? No, I'm not an engineer. I'm just a radio listening guy. Like, I guess, I don't know, like you. I don't know if you are an engineer, but I just love the radio hobby. I actually got back into shortwave radio listening about 6 years ago. When I was, of course, when we all started shortwave when we was a kid. I guess when we were kids. And I recently got my technician license for amateur radio operator. I got that in September, and I'm working on my general. But no, I'm not an engineer by any stretch of the imagination. No. In terms of engineer, I don't know what type of engineering you're talking about, but definitely I'm not an engineer of any caliber. I'm not an engineer. So I'm no engineer here, that's for sure. I'm just an enthusiast. I just love the radio hobby. I love every aspect of radio hobby. I know some people are like pegged into, one particular thing. I mean, you got ham radio operators that are just no. Right now, since I got my license, now I'm starting to get more interested in the ham radio, amateur radio world. It's something I always wanted to do since I was a kid. I just didn't have the time, didn't have the money, because it does cost money to buy certain things. When you're a kid and you're poor in the price, I don't see how you can get into amateur radio unless you have an Elmer and you have somebody. I didn't have that. I didn't have any of that. I grew up without a father, so that says it all right there. But excuse me. All right, George. I watched a video of a guy using SDRPlay Duo and how to reduce noise. I don't have the Duo, so I cannot make a. I have the SDRPlay RSPdx. The Duo is the one that you can do what you just mentioned, diversity. The Duo is you could use two antenna. It has two antenna inputs, right? It's two. Yeah, it's two. They're independent tuners also. With the RSPdx, it's three antenna inputs, but it's one tuner only. So let me read the other one. So I'm gonna make that clear. I don't have the Duo. I thought about getting a Duo, but it's not for me. I like the DX. He's George. He used the SDR. I mean, he used the shortwave SDR Uno, the diversity setting, and Duo has two receivers. He used a noise antenna and a regular antenna to get rid of. Yeah. Excuse me. I think it's called phasing. It's like yeah. So that's another way to do it. I ain't never done that, so I don't want to comment on that because let me see. Yeah, it's called phasing. My thing with phasing is Well, I can't comment on that because it's interesting to try that because see, this is one tuner. It has 3 antenna inputs. Okay. So thanks for the response. I'm an electronics engineering student, and I love radio and SDR design using digital signal processing and adaptive filtering design. Okay, cool. So yeah, so you have the Duo. So the Duo has 2 inputs, but they're both separate tuners. So I know people use them to either phasing, but I think they also use it for, like, for example, you have 2 loops, right? You have one loop pointing east to west. You have one loop pointing, north to south, right? So with the diversity, what it is, you can combine the 2. And then I guess within the software, it kind of gives you the best possible signals. And that's diversity. The phasing is something else. I think the phasing, what it does is you're trying to eliminate the noise from one. How can I explain it without? Because I know DX Central does that with medium wave DXC. Part of it is you're phasing out the noise. So you have one slightly pointed, not, I don't know if it's 90 degrees. Like one is east-west, one is north-south. And I think it has to do with the noise. You phase out the noise, and therefore you get the best possible signal. But I don't know if diversity does that. I don't know how that works with diversity. I think it just combines the signal. I think the phasing is something else. And there are devices that do that. I know MFJ has a device that does that. I never done that, the phasing thing, because I don't know. I just think that for me, I don't know. I think when it gets to a point where I'm trying to phase out a noise, is I rather address the issue at the root. Like, for example, the noise that I'm getting now is because of the I believe it's the power. I still haven't went out there with a radio and pinpoint the problem. Okay, so that's another one I looked into, but the QRM eliminator again. When I mentioned that last time when I made that video about the noise, I didn't want to go to that point where I want to spend money. I shouldn't say money, but you know what I mean. I didn't want to spend a lot more money when I could try to address the issue here, because I believe my issue here is just the antennas in the front. If I remove that antenna, put it toward the back, I think that issue can be resolved. It's just a matter of moving the location. Because I learned that even with the loop. When I first started, when I got back into the hobby, I didn't even know about loop antennas. I didn't know nothing about loop antennas. I'm just running a wire. I was just running speaker wire. And after a while, there's so much you can listen to on a wire, right? The real strong shortwave broadcast you can pick up. Or if conditions are right and there's not much noise. But it got to a point where I started getting a lot of noise for certain signals. And that's when you start, the little experimenter in you or whatever, or your brain just starts saying, you know what, I need to figure out what if I bring down this noise? What would happen? So I started doing that. First thing I did is I started changing all the lights around the basement, all the lights. I used to leave a lot of stuff plugged in. I started unplugging stuff that I didn't want on all the time. And that helped drop it a little bit. It dropped a little bit just by unplugging certain things. And then the next thing I did was I bought one of those ground, the thing you stick in the outlet and tell you if the outlet is grounded. Because apparently if the outlet is not grounded, that's also a source of noise. which I didn't know. Of course, I'm learning all this stuff over time. So I try not to plug in anything on those outlets until I fix them. And that helped too. But also a lot of it is that. It's just, now of course, I'm married, I have a son. They have a lot of stuff plugged upstairs. My wife has a paper shredder. When she turns on that paper shredder, my TV reception drops. I could be watching TV down here over the air, and she turned on that paper shredder. The minute she puts something to shred, my signal is killed. So I think that also can affect the radio. A lot of things affect the radio. A lot of stuff. So, yeah, I could buy the QRM eliminator, and there's also other stuff like the galvanic isolator. Galvanic isolator. I know that Oxford uses a device called the galvanic. Is that, I guess you put in between the coax and the radio, and suppress some of the. But those are not cheap. They're very expensive. So you see how everything starts adding up in price. If I want like the perfect, is impossible for me. And then of course, right in front of my house, I got neighbors. I can't control nothing they do. Of course, that's also because for the first couple of years here, actually for the first 3 or 4 years, I had it good, not too many noise. But now all of a sudden, this block is crowded. There's a lot of people here. The guy behind me, he still has his Christmas lights on, but he has colorful lights. He changes different colors, so now it's flashing green because St. Patrick's Day. So he has those lights all year round. For Valentine's Day, they were red. He had the like little red. They were red, like I guess Valentine's Day. When he put those lights, I thought they were going to be for Christmas only. No, all year round. It's March. Last night he had them on, flashing green, all around the front of the house, all around the house. They're flashing green now. That thing is interfering with my signal now a little bit, especially in the boiler room. I noticed it now. So, but I can't do nothing about that. He lives on the other block. I'm not going to walk up to him and say, can you please take down the lights? I'm trying to listen to radio, But I can hear it. I can hear his LEDs are really messing up my. Of course, I could go incognito one day and clip the freaking wires, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not that type of person. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. There's stuff that you have no control over. So that's why I got to the point where I thought about buying the QRM eliminator. But it gets to the point where, you know what? I can't be spending money to eliminate a problem that I'm not going to be able to solve anyway. All I can do is the best I can do. And that's the problem with the hobby that we have, is noise. How to eliminate noise. It's not even about getting receptions anymore. I made that video on the copper loop when I put it down here. It wasn't about getting VLF, how to get it, how to put. No, it was about lowering the noise to the point where you could just even pick up the signal. And that's the point is getting. You just got to lower the noise low enough, as low as you can, to just pick up signals. And that's all you can hope for. That's the point that we got in. That's the point that I got into. So I got asked a question the other day about, why you didn't use a rotator on your loop when you did the. I said it's a loop. A rotator is pointless because I have to put my loop. When it's on the roof, I have to put my loop north to south. That's the only way I can do it because of the noise. If I rotate that loop east to west, it's unlistenable. It's unlistenable. My noise floor will be so much higher. The fact that I put it 90 degrees away from the noise is enough for me to listen daily without have to. I can use a rotator. The same thing in the yard. Most of my antennas are north to south. I have a couple of east to west, but they don't do well. Sometimes they're okay. but I can see the noise floor is a lot higher. It's a lot higher. And they're away from the roof. Those two. They're east and west, but they're away from the house. But I still get noise on those. So unfortunately for me, I have to point my antennas a certain way, and that's it. And find that sweet spot and leave it there, and that's all you can do. And that's the way he's going to me. My point is just that. I just got my. I know because some people say, because some people think that if you get a loop, it's the magic bullet and all your problems are solved. No, even if you get a loop, you have to keep it away from certain noise. Even if you have it indoors, there might be a certain room that's not going to make as much noise as another room. Excuse me. Like when I went to Indiana, the room that I was staying in, I could not use the loop, MLA 30. Even indoors, I couldn't use it. I had it indoors. I tried to rotate it. There was a light fixture that was right there. They had recessed lights that was probably emitting noise. I could listen to anything. I had to put that MLA 30. I had to put it 25 feet away from the house and run the coax all the way to the second floor. And I was able to listen to shortwave and medium wave, better because it was still noise. Now my nose is itchy. Let me turn on the air filter. My God. Let me turn on the air purifier. Excuse me. I should have turned it on earlier. My nose is itching. So James Farley, actually, let me read before that. I'm sorry. So you say Georgia works well, the QRM eliminator. I have to look into that, but I'm tempted not to go that route because I want to address the issue first here. Like I want to move that antenna over in the springtime. I want to move it toward the back. I want to see if that eliminates the disc from bringing the hum into here. Because I still have that setup where I clipped the alligator wire to this box. And I got rid of it. I can show you. I can demonstrate. Let me put on medium wave.
The entrance ramp to the thruway is slow northbound between exit 10
and move the speakers over here.
Checking the bridges and tunnels with the south, GWB inbound, upper okay, lower fine outbound.
So this is the. I'll get to your question in a minute, James. I'm sorry. I just want to bring this point home. Now, sometimes, unfortunately for me, this works for now. That's WABC. You don't hear no humming right now, right? See the alligator clip in there? Clipped onto that connector? If I take that out, let me take it out. Hear that? That's bad. So unfortunately for me, this is the only solution I have for now. Is to take this alligator clip and clip it there. Right? And that alligator clip wire goes to here. This is a switch from the disc home. So basically what I'm doing is I grounded it into that power strip. Because that power strip is plugged into a grounded wall outlet. That wall outlet is grounded. Okay? Sorry, I hit my camera. So that outlet is grounded. So that power strip has. Why am I screaming over this one? So that power strip has in and out. It has two pairs of coax connectors. So because that's a power conditioner. It's a power strip, but it's also a power conditioner. So I guess it takes the dirty, what they call dirty voltage or something. I don't know that's a term for that. I don't know what it's called. It conditions it. Again, I'm not electrical engineer or nothing like that. I'm just going from little information I gather. So, but I read enough, and no, I'm not a dummy. but they recommend you have a grounded outlet. The outlet has to be grounded. So I don't have it. I have it in the boiler room. It's a thing you plug in. It has two lights, and it tells you if the outlet is reverse polarized, if it's grounded, if it's not grounded. It's different light, red and white light. So that one told me that this outlet is grounded. So, of course I could have easily, I ran the wire in there, with this connector. This is a regular coax connector. This is the SO239. So I ran but it was still a little hum. The alligator clip works better. It minimized the hum down to almost nothing. You just heard it. Almost nothing. So sometimes you gotta do what works. And that works. That wire into just clipping it into there works. It just works. Is that solving the problem? No, it's a band-aid. That means until I move that antenna away from there, I'm gonna have to leave that thing clipped out. Otherwise, I'm gonna hear all through my band. Yeah, at least I can enjoy it. And this is throughout the house. Cause my brother's is an AM broadcast too. And I will put the radio upstairs. When I made that video, I demonstrated in the second floor. He was hearing the hum from that Sony radio. All over the house, I couldn't hear AM broadcast. The minute I connected the wire alligator clip to the connector on the power strip, the hum disappeared. And it didn't cost me anything. I already had alligator clip. I had a piece of speaker wire. I had to connect. I crimped it. That's it. I just used the screw from the thing. Cost me nothing. Now I could buy QRM eliminator. Can it do the same thing? Probably could. But I didn't want to go that route yet. So it works.
What they're doing, she's talking about this.
If I didn't clip it, you're gonna hear it.
As far as mutilation of minors.
Hear that? Hear that? Wow.
How many supposedly smart people? I have no reason to doubt that somebody's corrupt, but I'm not trying to insult or think it's not smart, but her reading of history is just distorted.
Yeah, that's how it works. It works for me.
The way that Hitler started. And the idea that parents and other concerned people are actually trying to protect.
So, and that's coming from the discone. I guess the discone's picking up that hum. And I know David's Radio Room mentioned it. And somebody, I know Elmer mentioned it too. It's probably the power line or the transformer. I had to go out there with a portable and see. And I know David made a couple of good suggestions that walk all the way down the power line. If you're getting a consistent signal, then it's the power line itself. If it only comes from the transformer, then it's the transformer. Then something's going on. So I need to go outside and do that. When I do that, I'm going to make a video on that. To see if that's, so I can pinpoint maybe that's the noise is coming from there. But I'm definitely going to move the discone away from there. Because right now, because before when I first set up the discone, I had it separately. I didn't have it in a switch box. Right now, all my wires are like crossing each other and all that, and I think that's affecting it. And but I have everything here. So yeah. So James Farley, would it help to put a power strip in the wall with the wall warts in a metal box? No, I don't think that's gonna make a difference in a metal box. Because if the wall wart is bad, the main thing is the outlet itself if it's grounded. Because I have wall warts on this power strip. I have the wall wart that came with. Let me show you. I put several wall warts in there. I had the wall wart for the Hey, what's up, Bobby? See, I have this wall wart, but this is the one that came with the scanner. That's for the scanner. Then I have a whole bunch of plugs there. But I have several wall warts on that one. I even had the one for the MLA 30, the phone. It was a phone charger. It was a Huawei phone charger. I know people say, "Oh, you shouldn't use a phone. You shouldn't use a wall war for your MLA 30." I use it all the time. It never gave me, and I never had issues with them because I use good, because I know the difference between a good. You know what? I'll show you. I'll be right back. Let me show you. I'm gonna bring them in so you can see the difference. You know, like collectively, you got to minimize the noise in every possible thing. Like this one will take off this much because I'm gonna tell you the difference between these two. I tried this one. This is the one you buy at the dollar store. You see how small it is? These are junk. When I had this with MLA 30, it was junk. It was just noisy. I use this one. See how big it is? Look at the difference. Big difference, right? This is the one that came with my phone. The phone that I'm using. This is a Huawei, but you can get a Samsung one. But look at the difference. Just look at the difference. These are the cheap dollar store ones. So if you're using these, this is probably your problem. These dollar store cheap plugs. You need to use something like this. You can see it has all the UL listed stuff, everything, Huawei right there. See, read all of that. Read all that good stuff. This one has nothing. Look at it. This is a dollar store cheapo. Yeah. Dollar store cheapo. I even had the one that had two of them. I had one that had two of them. You know what happened to that one? I was charging two things. It had two of them. I was charging. You know what happened to it? It went dead on me. It just, it didn't blow up, but it went dead. So I know and I did the smell test, and I smelled something got burnt. These are the cheap ones. These are the ones you need to avoid for your MLA 30 or for anything. These will work in a pinch, whatever, but these are not the ones you should get if you're trying to power your MLA 30. Yeah, I know batteries are the best, but you don't need I don't need batteries. When I'm in the house, I want to have it running all the time. I use this guy. Samsung one, or in my case, it's a Huawei. It's a Huawei. Okay, Huawei, because I have a Huawei phone. This one works. I have two of them, and this is gold, baby. I won't sell this to anybody because these are my best chargers for MLA 30. These are the ones I recommend. I have a couple of other ones that came with a free phone. My brother had a free phone. I had one years ago. I still have it. It's an Alcatel. I had one, for a couple of months. I have that charger too, but this is the one I use. Okay. So, Huawei. Okay. These dollar store ones, the dollar store, 99-cent store, stay away from these. These are not good for your MLA 30. This is junk. Okay? Garbage. Stick with this. That was the first thing I found out a couple of years ago. And that thing is a piece of junk. If I could demo it with a sledgehammer, I would do it right now. Yeah, so I think a metal box is not gonna. I don't know if you want to try it. I don't know. I think for me, the main thing was to ground it Oh man, I should have brought that thing. I don't think I have it here. You know what? Right back. Let me check. Let me put that right there. All right. Yeah, I found it. Here we go. When I made a video a long time ago about the AC. You see that bag? One with the green, yellow label on it. I'm gonna put the link in the video. I don't want to do it now because I don't want to take the chance and something goes. AC ground wire kit. One requirement they want you to have is a grounded outlet. You gotta have a grounded outlet, otherwise you're gonna fry your radio or injure yourself to use that thing. Okay. Let me take it out of here. I'll show you. I'm trying to be careful. I don't want to knock anything over. Okay, here we go. I'm not saying to go buy this. I'm just showing you when I made that video, people are saying, you're crazy plugging the radio. No. If it's grounded, it's a ham. He's been doing this for you. He sells this kit. This is for old radios, by the way. This is like for old tube radios. And you want to get rid of that humming and all that nonsense. If people use this for apartments and all that. I'm going to put the link to my video. He still sells this on eBay. I bought this a long time. I don't use this, but I made a demonstration on it, and it worked on a portable. So you can look it up. You can look it up on eBay if you want. So he recommends, and this is of course it makes sense because you're using the ground portion of the outlet. You're not plugging it. You're not plugging that wire into here because this is live. The ground. The ground. You gotta be careful. I made a video on that. Yeah, I'm gonna put the link in the video. I'm gonna look it up in a bit. But I want to keep the stream going. I don't want no hiccup, no nothing today. Because I don't want to be. I'm gonna be on a long time today. He plugged it into this part. I see another video that people use this. The outlet has to be grounded. If it's not grounded, then it's dangerous. You can get killed. You can fry your equipment, but that's at least you're worried. You can get killed. So I'm saying it again. The outlet's grounded. So this tests your outlet. You plug this in your outlet, and it tells you. It has a whole bunch of. Zoom in there, please. You see? It tells you if your outlet is grounded. If it's correct. So the top one is correct. If you get 2 yellows, that means if you plug this in and you get 2 yellows, you're good to go. It's very important. That's why this humming is not working. It's gone. Because I finally grounded it. That power strip is plugged into a grounded outlet. So those connections are grounded. Okay. Now I have other outlets. I didn't build this house. So there's some outlets in this house that are not grounded. I need to take that out. I need to rewire that outlet and get them grounded. In fact, a few of them are even reversed. Because this tells you if they're reverse polarized, if they flip-flop the hot wire and the neutral wire and all that stuff. This will tell you. Oh, my bad. Sorry, I had it upside down. My bad. Let me get it right there. There you go. See? My hand is shaking too much. I'm sorry. Okay? So this tells you. So when you use that ground wire kit, it makes it clear in the description and instructions. Make sure your outlet is grounded. Otherwise, you could risk injury or you damage the radio, whatever. So this thing is like that. It has all these different You plug this in. I'll show you. I'll just check it out. Let me check it out the bag. I'll show you. Because I'm trying to stress how important the outlet is grounding. So, like, for example, like, I'm trying to answer James' question. So with the wall warts and all that, yeah, the wall warts could be bad too. But in my case, it wasn't the wall wart; it's the outlet. So this one has all these. I'm trying to take them all out here without. So this is the outlet, right? This is the outlet, but this wire is only connected to here, not here. This is just to hold the thing from falling. This is just to hold it from falling. These are not wired. This is wired directly to this. Okay, and then you have different connectors. You have like the spade connector. So you just put this here, right? And then this goes into your ground. For example, the tube radio. You have a ground connection, you put this there. Now your radio is grounded. But remember, the wire is only connected to the ground, not these two. Otherwise, it will blow up in 2 seconds. It will cook like burgers. And you blow up your radio. No, people just make a wire and stick it in this part of the outlet. You know, I don't recommend you do all that stuff. I was doing this I don't use this anymore. I just did a demonstration. But before I did that demo, the one in the kitchen, that's why I did it. That one is grounded. I tested it with this guy. That's how I knew it was grounded. Otherwise, you know, I wouldn't just plug it in and do it blind because you don't know if the outlet, because you could get straight voltage. If it's not grounded, you could get straight voltage in there and bye-bye. Okay? And I got flack for that. A couple of people posted that I shouldn't have posted that video. That is, I made it clear. I made it clear. I explained what it. After that, that's it. Just like he put the warning in his thing, I made it clear and I said the warning. So this wire is connected to the ground portion of the outlet. The 3-prong outlet, that is the ground. I'm going to emphasize it again. That is the ground. This will not work unless your outlet is grounded. And this is the only way you can test it. So, you know, that I will look at the how you say it. You need to look at the root of the issue. If your outlets are, you know, your noise could be coming from the wiring inside the walls, basically. That's what I'm trying to get to. You know, in layman's terms, that's what I'm trying to tell you. And that's what happened to me. I had to locate which one. Like this outlet is grounded. I tested this one out. But that one over there is not grounded. I tested that one. And the one over here is not grounded. So those two are not grounded. These two are grounded. So I couldn't plug in this equipment on those. It just wouldn't work. It would be too, you know. Plus, I run the risk. Like some radios, like this radio. This one. Even though this one needs to be fixed, you got a hot chassis. If this is not grounded, you touch this case. You get zapped. I done it. I got zapped on this case. I touched it. Yeah. Hot chassis. If you plug it into a non-grounded outlet, yeah, you're going to get zapped. I got zapped with this guy. This radio. I didn't know at the time. I looked at it and said, oh my God. I could have got hurt. I didn't know. So of course there's a fix for this. But you know. James Farley, do you remember the device that plugged into your outlet and made your whole house a TV? Yeah, I saw something like that. That was a long time ago. I forgot. I remember the infomercial on that. I believe there was an infomercial on that. Of course, they have the other one. Of course, that's one thing I don't use. I don't use that whole power line Ethernet. You know, power line Ethernet is kind of the same theory that when you plug in the power line device, it makes your wiring. You can plug in a network wiring through that. That's called power line Ethernet. So I'm picking up all the stuff here. See, these are all the little attachments that it came with. It comes with a alligator clip one. Then it has a spade one. Then it has this one, just a simple tin wire. It has a few of them. So I remember seeing something like that. You plug it, you plug into the wall and you plug it directly into your TV, and your basically your whole your whole wiring becomes an antenna. And that's what it's basically. I remember seeing that, but I was like, wow, it wasn't like in the early 90s or something. I had to look that up. Hello, Des. Good evening and welcome. Yeah, I remember that. So it's the same thing is with the power line, Ethernet power line. I never used that. Because I don't trust it. I don't want to plug in my computer equipment into out wiring. And I didn't know at the time. Again, it all boils back to the basic when it comes to wiring. And that's not. And later on, of course, through radio hobby, I didn't know about it. I thought about that. I thought, well, that's a nice solution that I could just. But you know what was cheaper? Buy 100 feet of wire and run it through the wall. That's what I wound up doing, and it's faster because at that time, power line Ethernet was like a lot slower. It was a lot slower than, at that time it was 100 megabit Ethernet. I wanted to go up to the second floor from the basement because I had a router in the basement. I wanted to share the internet with my brothers upstairs on the second floor at the time. So I just ran cable. That's it. Best thing to do is just run cable. Just run it through the walls. That's what I did. I ran cable. On the second floor, I put a switch. Then everybody got the Ethernet one-to-one room. That's how I did. I did the old school. I didn't want to do a Wi-Fi. I didn't want to depend. Plus, Wi-Fi was super slow back then. We're talking about 20 years ago. I just did Ethernet. I said, I'm not doing, because I read power line was only, at that time, it was only like not even 10 megabit per second. Then it was 10 megabit per second. When I need 100 megabit per second network, we're talking about 20 years ago, before gigabit Ethernet. 20 plus. It was probably 20 plus. Well, 20 years ago. So 100 megabit was enough for a lot of people back then, 20 years ago. And hello, Robert Varner. How's it going? And so that never appealed to me, that whole power line thing. Of course, later on, I found out when I got into the hobby, that thing emits a lot of noise. The power line Ethernet. And now you have the Wi-Fi one. You have the you plug it here, right? Like a Wi-Fi, and then you put it on the second floor, you plug it in there, you got Wi-Fi on the second floor. I don't like that. I never appealed to me, that stuff. Especially now that I'm back in the radio hobby, that thing will make a lot of noise. And there's no way I can. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this here for now. I'll leave it here. So that's what happened to me. I think it came down to the fact that these outlets were not grounded, and that was another. Because I started reading up I started reading up on ground loops and all this stuff. And let me go back to let me read. I'm sorry. Let me go up a little bit. I'm sorry because I went on and I let some stuff go by. I'm gonna go back over here and let me read all the stuff up here. So I'm gonna start with James Farley. So I don't know. I have if you with warm ones in a metal box. So I don't know if the metal box is gonna help because you're not really addressing. You're just covering up with a metal box. So I don't think that's gonna help. I think I will look for, like I said, in my case, because not every outlet in this house is grounded. This house is going to be 100 years old. Not everybody that wire these outlets are certified mechanics. I mean, electrician, licensed electrician. I know because I'm one of them. I'd wired a few outlets here, but I could say I did it properly. I know. But my brother, he wired the second floor. He did a few outlets on the second floor, and they were horrible. They wound up later on before I took my classes. Before I took classes on that, he did that years ago, and one by one, it started failing. And so the guy came to rewire it. He said, no, he did this all wrong. He did it. First of all, some of them are backwards. All of them are not grounded. So he fixed them on the second floor. So he did that. This is way before I even took the class. Then I finally decided to take a class on electrical, basic electrical 101, electrical. So and that's how I learned. I learned about all this stuff. So, but yeah. And James Farley, by the way, your video on the Texan D-109 are excellent. Thank you. And I'm going to make more. I'm going to make a few more before I make my... I was going to show you that too. This is my old one. I just got the new one yesterday. The new one is in here. So I can do a little unboxing real quick. You see? I haven't taken it out yet. So let me do a quick unboxing. The box. I got another wire now. A USB-C. Instructions. This is the second one. This is the one that's fixed. So we're going to do it right now real quick if it's fixed. This is I have not opened it up. I only took it out the external package. So I am going to pull I'm going to show you. Of course, it's wrapped up here nicely. So we got another unit of D-109. Oh, so this is the new one. This is the one with the glitch. You can see it, no display on. You know why? Because I got to pull the battery tab. So this is a brand new unit. So the glitch was, let me show you on the old one, and I'll show you this one. And then we're going to see if this one is fixed. So let's do that real quick, and then I'll go through your questions. So this one, of course, is, you turn it on. I'm not going to put the antenna on because I don't need to. I'm going to show you. So supposedly from 17 megahertz up to 19,000, 17,000 kilohertz up to 19,999, you cannot manually input it, right? So let me put on shortwave first. So right now it's on 11, 420, whatever. So if I try to put, let me see. I'm going to try to put 17, 460. It won't let me, you see? It doesn't let me. It kind of truncates the last digit. It doesn't let you. If I try to put 18,500, let me see. 18,500. See, it doesn't let me put the other zero. You see? Not letting me. The only workaround that is to manually, go up to 16,999. And then the rest of it, you're going to have to do the scroll wheel. Of course, in this case, it's not going to. So if I put 16,999, see? So if I want to go to 17,000, I have to do the manual. You see? Let me show you. See? So that's the glitch. So that goes from 17,000 to 19,999. So now we're going to try the new one. Let me turn this off. So this is a brand new unit because I can tell you, right? You see the battery tab? You got to pull that out, right? You're going to hear it. Maybe I should take out the cover first. There you go. So you see, I just took out the battery tab. The bat, it's a little is this plastic guy? It's a separator, so that, it doesn't so it doesn't eat up the batteries fully. Right now it's fully charged. You could say, factory charge or whatever. So I just pulled it out. So now it's on. I mean, now it's batteries on. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn it on. I'm gonna go to shortwave. I'm gonna go to shortwave. See, 11. Now I'm gonna put 17,460. Let's see. 17460, and it's fixed. There you go. Okay. So let's try another frequency. 18. Let's say 18,600. 18,600. So there you go. It's fixed. Okay. Let's try 19,250. Let's try something. 19,250. Yep, it's fixed. So they fixed the issue. So this is the one this is the new one now. Of course, it's still, it's brand new. So there you go. You see, it fixed it. Let me put the light on. I think that light made it. Oh my God. Anyway, so you see, it fixed it. The issue is fixed. So they fixed it. All right. So there you go. So, I could play 3-card Mountie with them, but I know which one. The only way you're gonna know if it works, this one works, or on all frequencies. This one, if you try to tune 17,000 to 19,099, you're not gonna be able to manually tune it. You have to use the wheel. So that's the difference between these two. Okay. So there you go. So that's my demo for that. So this is a brand new unit. This is the one I'm gonna start reviewing on more, and then I'll do a final review on this one. So there you go. Hope you like the demo. All righty. So let me read a few things. Let me go down here. All right. So let me go back up real quick. So Bobby, what's up, Bobby, again? George, yes, the wall warts are just switching power supply, and they're usually poorly shielded and isolated. Yeah, I agree. But I'm doing that. I'm gonna pack up my box. I'm gonna leave the other one out. So now I have 2 XHDATA D-109. So I'm just gonna keep one in the boiler room, and then the other one I'll keep it over here. And then I'll just, but I want to see if there's any other issues with it, because that's the one that they told us it might be. Hopefully, that's the only issue. I hope. Yeah. So Warwatch, and they're usually poorly shielded. Snap-on ferrites helps some. Yeah, I have snap-on ferrites on everything, on every wire I have. I know, and I'm obsessive by that, but George, batteries are the best, but what a pain to keep charged. Yeah, they are. Brian Jackson, hello, Brian Jackson. I saw your question earlier. I was covering a lot of stuff, and I can't read everything. So I'm gonna address your question. I'm sorry, Brian. I hope you're still here. And if you're not, thank you for stopping by. Brian Jackson, what do you think about Clear Channel Station moving to AM to FM? I like the show watching on the bus coming home from work. Yeah, I mean, is the reality today is that everything's moving to FM. Number one reason is cars. Somebody brought it up on the Somebody brought it up on. Oh yeah, it was the presentation about the radio station in Indonesia. So it's the opposite in Indonesia. There's no FM radio, basically. No FM radio stations, or because a lot of people use bicycles or motorcycles. There's not that many cars. So terrestrial radio as a whole is non-existent. There's no need for it. In the United States, as long as we have cars, number one reason why we have a lot, and he brought up a good point. I'm going to talk about it real quickly. And thank you for Brian for reminding me about that. That's a good, and I'm going to touch on that too. Is we have a lot of cars in this country. So that's what keeps AM radio alive. But I believe FM radio will stay alive too because of that. Is automobiles. In other countries, we have internet radio. A lot of people use internet radio, but is the automobile. We have a lot of cars in this country, and people just sometimes, especially if you're stuck on traffic, you just want to turn on the radio. You want to turn on the radio to listen to the traffic first of all, to know what's going on. I mean, yeah, you can use an app. You can use an app. To monitor traffic. It's not the same. Sometimes you just want to listen to radio. Sometimes it's dead air. You don't want to sit there and it's dead air. You want to listen to some music or something, anything in the radio. Unfortunately, AM is the one that's going to suffer first. AM going to FM because now you have electric vehicles. And of course, a lot of them, I don't know if any of them are built with AM anymore. So AM is kind of the dying breed. But we talked about that weeks ago. I think AM broadcast is staying alive because of talk radio. A lot of talk radio. We have more talk radio now than we ever did in our lifetime. When radio first came out, it was way before I was born. Everything was on radio. Radio show. Like a serial, old time radio shows and all that. Of course, television got rid of that part. Television took over that part. The game shows, soap operas, whatever. That used to be on radio. Then radio just became news and eventually music. Now, with electric vehicles, because they put. We're in this time now that global warming and all that. I'm not gonna debate the whole thing about global warming. I believe there is some. I believe some of it is blown out of proportion, but I believe some is, and rightfully so. I think we should look into alternative. I agree with that. We should look into alternative sources. We should not be dependent on one particular source of fuel. In other words, fossil fuel. I think we do need to look at alternative sources. I mean, anybody can tell you that. I mean, I agree with that. So, and electric vehicles are one of those things. And unfortunately for the AM radio, it doesn't do well on electric vehicles. I don't know. I don't own electric vehicles. But from what I've been told, and electric vehicles, anyway, they're not even making it with that. But I think that there's and there's a part of the segment of the population is also cost. I'm sure it's a lot cheaper to run an AM radio station than it is an FM radio station. I think FM, of course, you require a lot more power. So I think eventually, yeah, AM will, but it's not going to be in my lifetime. I don't think it's going to be my lifetime. I think maybe another generation, and maybe even a generation after that, then AM, I think, will no longer be here. Only because we have FM, and that's, a lot more electric vehicles, and we don't know what other technology in the future. It's mostly electric. I think right now it's just electric, and they're pushing electric on every, corner and everywhere corner of the globe. Unless you live in a remote area and, that type of thing. But I think in this country, eventually, but not in my lifetime, it's not going to happen. So, but I think a lot of it is going to be economics too. It's a cost. I think AM is the cheapest way to get your product out there. if I was selling a product and I want advertising and I want to reach the maximum amount of listeners, I would look at AM first. Only because you're gonna get more ears on AM, especially in the evening of your product, especially if it's not a local product. You're gonna get your word heard out more. On FM, of course, it's more localized. So I think a lot of it is also economics. You know, if it's a viable way to make money on AM, then, and of course a lot of it dominates talk radio. A lot of it is talk radio, and of course we have a lot of political talk radio now. People say that that's hurting the AM broadcast. I believe that's the opposite. It's keeping it alive. It's keeping it alive, actually. A lot of stuff is, unfortunately. And advertising. A lot of it is advertising, too. On a Saturday morning, Sunday morning. Yeah, you know, you get the cancer doctor and the other doctor. You get the vitamin guy. You get all these radio shows. There's, you know, there's room for AM for all that. If you want to start your own talk radio show and you want to buy time, you have a better chance at going on AM broadcasts to do that than FM. FM, you know, of course, it's a lot more. It's going to be a lot more expensive, I believe. I think it's a lot more expensive on FM to get the. So I don't think it's going anywhere. I think AM is slowly going to decline, but it's not going to be in my lifetime. I don't think it's going to be I think in the next generation and so on. So thank you, Brian Jackson, for. And you're watching the show on the bus. Cool. Coming home from work. Thank you. I appreciate that, Brian. George, does that work if you have a real cold? I tried it with the same connection. I have a cold water pipe there. It minimized the hum a little bit, but not compared to the grounded outlet. So comparing the two, the grounded outlet was way better than the cold water pipe. Because the same wire, I have a wire right, the speaker wire is hooked up to the right outside that window where my fiber optic connection is coming in from the internet connection. I ran a copper speaker wires hooked up to the cold water. I have a cold water spigot out there, cold water pipe. That's where the cable company grounds the cable. And I use that common ground and I try to clip it on here. It lowered the hum a little bit, but not much. You can still hear it. But when I did it to the power strip, that eliminated the hum completely. So, and I talked about that in that video. I didn't demonstrate that one because I already took the alligator clip and put it here. But maybe I should put an alligator clip on that one, and then I'll demo both of them. Maybe I'm going to make a video on that. Now you gave me an idea. I can show you. What I'll do is I'll show you the cold water pipe outside connection first. Then I'll demo the two. This is the grounded outlet. This is the cold water pipe. And the cold water pipe lost. It lowered it. It lowered the hum, but it didn't get rid of it. It was still humming. But it dropped it in half, like about half. But it didn't it didn't eliminate it. This eliminated it. The grounded outlet too. Got rid of the hum. I mean, you can still hear a little bit sometimes. It got about 90%. It got rid of about 90% of it. So the cold water pipe, you know, I used it before, but when I found this one is better. This method. And George, you are right. Ground is very important. Yeah. James Farley, I read the question. I'll read it again real quick. Hello, Michael, TV Radio 1972. Hello, Jim's Radio Check. Hello, Andy Cowley. Hello, brother. How is it the Hulkamania when you say hi, brother? I don't know why. The Hulkamania comes out. Hello, brother. Oh my God. Yeah, so James Farley, I have to look into that. I know there was an 80s commercial on there. I think it could have been a 90s commercial. Plug in the antenna and you use the wiring for I don't know if that works. I mean, it could work for TV antenna. That's not going to work for shortwave, but George, Scout needs an isolation transformer for sure. And hello, Adesh. Let me go down here. Everybody say hi. Everybody say hi. And Adesh says, that's really cool, man. I had 2 shortwave portable battery radios, but it fell down. And you know what happened? One was digital and the other was analog. Okay. And be right back. Okay. And I'll be on for a while. I'll be on for it's 5:35. I'll be on for probably another hour or so. Hello, Jim's radio check. And I ordered that radio, by the way, the one you reviewed, the Texan XHDATA D-109. I bought it from eBay, $15 total. Because I was gonna get it at the XHDATA site. However, I couldn't buy it. I think because the shipping was free, it was only $6. I was hoping I could get it for $6 on it, but when I tried to do it in the cart, something happened. It didn't allow me. So I said, you know what, I'm not. So I went on Amazon. It was a little it was a little higher by Amazon, and I found it on eBay for $15. So it was $13, and it was like almost $14. And then with the tax, it came out to $15, $15 and change. And I bought the light gray one because they got the gunmetal gray, the darker one, and I bought the light one. I wanted the lighter color one. And yeah, and I mentioned about 2 hands on the radio. Yeah, I guess now he's doing, and I did reiterated what I said about him not running the account. So he is. I guess now that he posted a new video, now it's confirmed that he is back. Because that's a brand new video. I saw the video. I saw the video on the D-219. And yeah, I know that's the issue with it too. He mentioned that. Oh, 2 hands. 2 hands mentioned that. Oh, okay. Yeah, so anyway, good for him, and I hope he posted new videos because that was a good video that he posted. So I guess he has a Jeep. It's a Jeep, the front of the Jeep or something. It's a different view. And he mentioned something and he touched up on something. I guess he didn't want he was gonna mention it, but then so anyway, I ordered it because I'm just gonna play around with it. $15. I used the money from the donation because I bought because Google paid out the other day, so I bought this switch for my MFJ. So it's gonna be my 3rd switch in the shack. And I also bought, I bought the radio. I said, I'm gonna buy the radio because I know Tyler Bird just made a video on it too. Tyler Bird. He made a video on that too, the 219. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy it $15. I'm gonna play around with it and see if I like it. And so let me go back over here. So yeah. So hello everybody, and Michael, hope you're doing well. Jim, I hope you're doing well. Yeah, you can't go wrong with $15 total. I mean, because the reviews are good. The reviews are pretty good. I checked out a few of them, and everybody says a nice little radio. So, because I had the 328. Where is it at? Oh, right here. I have this one, and and this is not bad. This is the 328. I like this little radio. I took it to Niagara Falls, and I took it to Florida. It was one of my radios. So now I'm gonna look into that radio when I take that radio. That's gonna be my little radio I'm gonna take with me. To listen to shortwave and because I like the little analog. So I say okay. I'm gonna try that radio because it got good reviews on it. So right, and for the cost, I was like, you know what, can't go wrong. Yeah. George, Radio Garden is the best app, any station, anywhere. And that's the other thing. The guy that was talking in the SWL Fest, was it Mark Fahey? Is his name, I believe. So he has a radio station, and I wound up using Simple Radio. I have an app called Simple Radio because I use Simple Radio. Where is it at? It's right here, Simple Radio. Because it has ads, but so this is Simple Radio. Here's the one I use, see? And I got Radio Relo. Sometimes I listen to Radio Relo just to listen to Cuban news. Their version of how much they eat. But this one, because see, the problem with some of those radio apps is that they only have tune-in stations or other affiliated stations like iHeartRadio station. This one is every station. Sorry. Simple Radio, I find every station I could think of. You know, like when that guy was talking about that. What is this? I'll show you. Let me show you the station. Let me go into search. Oh my God, wait. Oh my God. No, forget it. Anyway. I forget how to I'll look figure it out. I think when I turn it back on. Anyway, it was like Radio Komodo Radio, something like that. It was some stations from where he was. Let me see if I can type it in there. Oh, it's right here. It's gonna put it. Okay, let me pause the music. No, I don't want to play the music. Anyway, he runs his stations. The Radio Cerebatu. So apparently some people in the SWL Fest couldn't find the station. But they were using the app that was with TuneIn app. So this app doesn't have TuneIn stations. It doesn't have any of those affiliated stations. Because iHeartRadio has their own network of online stations. And not every app has iHeart stations. Or if you use the iHeart station app, you're not going to be able to have these. These are independent. They're not affiliated with any, like if you have TuneIn, they have their own. Like when I use Alexa, right? Alexa, I have the Echo Dot. If I want to listen to like certain stations, they're not affiliated. So you won't be able to listen to it. They say, no, we don't know that station, whatever. But this app, I could play any station, any online station. I never had trouble finding a station through this app. So while people were having trouble finding this station, oh my God, come on with the focus, bro. I'm gonna put it right there. Let me see if it. I think it's because I have to block myself. So you see Radio Cerebatu. So I mean, I searched it. I found all the Radio Cerebatus because he has like 3 or 4 stations, online stations. So I found all of them with this app. And I've been using this app for a few years. This app, I find Cuban stations there. I find stations all over the world there. Local stations, not affiliated with TuneIn and all that nonsense. I have a stereo receiver that has internet radio. But I only could pick up what's affiliated with, it's like a whatever they show, they're affiliated with something. I guess they're paying a licensing fee or something for it. This app picks up any internet radios. Every time I look for a station, I always found it on that app. So like for example, Radio Garden, I have to look into that app, see if that is like this one. Because not every radio app picks up every internet radio station. I just want to be clear on that. All right, George. I just want to be clear. To Radio 19, only if the D290 came out with the 10 kilohertz version, The videos I seen on 9, yeah, I know. And Two Hands responded to one of my videos the other day. Okay, cool. If it came out with and Hams to George, I'll try it, love it. Okay, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna download. I'm gonna try it because I listen to this one is it got ads, but I have to check if there's a paid version. I may just pay for it. I have to check. I just haven't came around to it, but I like this app. It's called Simple Radio. It just works. I find every station there that I look for. I never had trouble not finding a station there. So when that guy was doing that presentation, my nose is still itching. My God, I got the anyway. It takes time to purify everything. So when they had the SWL Fest and the guy was talking about those stations, people were like, "Oh, I can't find that station on my app." So I went on my app. I found them. I was like, "Oh yeah, look, they're right here." And so one of them was saying, "Oh, because I only get tuned in the station." I'm like, "Yeah, that's the problem. Some apps are just, they only do tune-in stations or iHeartRadio stations, or there's a whole bunch of different what you call it, like network of stations." That's your back. Oh, thank you. Good, you're back. So this app doesn't do that. It finds, I guess these are all independent stations. They're not affiliated with any particular type. So let me see something. If I put like WABC, let me see. Because that's affiliated. WABC is affiliated with something. No, I found it. Look, WABC. If I put WABC, it found them. Even though it's affiliated with something, it finds all the affiliated ones too. So if I put WOAI, there it is. WOAI. And those are affiliated. Those are affiliated with iHeart. That one is iHeart. I don't know. WO is iHeart. But it's here. I get on the. Sometimes with a radio app, you might not get these because they're affiliated with a particular, and that's it. So that's good to know. So I'm going to look into that Radio Garden. It's always good to have different radio apps because sometimes I want to not tune. I just want to lay there and listen to something at night. And I usually put one of these on. So anyway, so this radio now is the fix. They fixed it. I just did the demo a little while ago. So this is the old one. So they fixed the issue with the display now. So I'm going to show you once again. For those that showed up a little here. This is the new radio. So as you can see, last time I tuned it was 19250. Because the glitch was 1700 to 1999, you couldn't manually input it. So if I put 17640, now I could do it. With the old one, it would truncate the last digit, the 0. So instead of 17640, in that radio, it would be 1764. So they fixed it. Okay. So now I'm gonna play around with this radio. I just got this yesterday. The new and improved D-109. So I'm gonna do a few videos on this one. Then I'll do my final review on this one. So I'm gonna do. I wanted to do a daytime shortwave band scan, but it's already 5:49 here. So and it was kind of windy out there right now. It was nicer earlier, but now the wind picked up. So as soon as I get a nice day out there, I want to do an outdoor shortwave band scan with this radio out there. I want to do another one because the one I did last night was with this one, and it did pretty good. But now I want to do a daytime one with this one. So this one I'm going to be using for now. I'm going to play around with this one. That one I'm going to put away for now, and this is the one I'm going to do the full review on. probably the next couple of days, because I already seen enough of it. But I do want to test a few things like the MP. I just want to make sure this one, there's no issues with this one, and that's it. And then I'll do my review. But my preliminary finding is it's a good radio. It's a good radio. I'm gonna say so far so good. There is some issues with it, and I'll talk about that in the review. But I think overall it's a good radio. I think the price, I'm gonna talk about that too, because I think there's certain things about this radio that are good. I mean, if you want to compare it to, I don't have it here. It's in the boiler room. If you want to compare that to the Radiwa R108, that's their other model. That's $50 because this one, the regular price is on sale for $30 right now. But the regular price is going to be $49.98, $50. Now, compared to the Radiwa R108, there is some things, pros and cons. And I'm going to touch on that. You know, because this radio is not for everybody. One thing I'm going to tell you about this radio is a lot heavier. It's a lot heavier than that R108. It's a lot heavier. It's also, the audio is a lot louder. On this radio, it's a lot louder. The R108, I love that radio. But the audio, it's not a loud radio. It's a very low. It's not very loud. The R108, but it's a lot smaller than this one too. You know, compare the size. You know what? Let me bring them. I'll bring them here. So I'll show you the size of all three of them. I have the 808 and I'll show you. Let me. All right. So let me put them right here. All right. So we're going to compare these two just by size. So this is the 109. This is the new one. This is the flagship model. This is the D108. I mean, the E8. Excuse me. The 808. You can see the 808 is a lot beefier in terms of thickness. It's a lot beefier. But I'm going to tell you, this thing still feels heavy compared to this one. It's a lot. This one feels slightly heavier than this one, than the 808, believe it or not. But of course, the 808 is pretty good. It's still pretty good. This is their flagship model, right? This is their top model right now. This is pretty good. Okay. Now we have the Radiwa. That's their other model. The Radiwa or the Xiandong. I'm trying to sound Chinese. Xiandong R108. I'm trying to fit them in the screen. So you see it's smaller. Definitely thickness is about, you see it's a lot smaller. It's a lot smaller, right? It's a lot smaller. Okay, but again, it's just a nice radio. I love this radio too. $50, right? This regular price is $50. Now here's the thing. This one has the airband. This one does not have the airband. None of these two don't have single sideband. But the audio on this one is better. This one doesn't have airband again, but this one is a Bluetooth speaker. So if they dedicated this to be a Bluetooth speaker, by the way, I have not tried that feature. I need to try that feature too. I need to sync my phone to this and play audio from my phone and see how this sounds. So this is not a Bluetooth speaker. Okay. And also, this is not an MP3 player. This has no MP3 playback. Okay. So you're losing the airband here, but you're getting MP3 player. And I'm going to tell you why I like that part. I like that part. Hey, hello, my Radio DX. How's it going? So this is a Bluetooth speaker. So that means if I want to use this as a speaker, amplified speaker, I got it right here. Bluetooth speaker. Okay. Also, is an MP3 player. That's not an MP3 player. And of course, this one is not an MP3 player either. This is an MP3 player. Now, I used to think that why would I want an MP3 player? I ran into a situation where I need an MP3 player. I'm gonna tell you what it was. I have a lot of audio recordings. Some of them are audio courses, audio books. I have audio books on MP3 that I downloaded years ago. I cannot listen to it I cannot listen to it when I'm sitting on the computer. But I could see myself putting the MP3 player on, laying this on my bed, and listening to an audio book without using my phone. Because I don't want to upload MP3s on my phone. I don't want to do all that. I could just put on an SD card, drag and drop, boom, boom. I put it in here. I could play my audio stuff here. I never thought about that until I got this radio. And I download some YouTube, music. But I started thinking about, I said, I got audio courses there that I haven't listened to in years. And audio courses and a lot of stuff. Subliminal music. I have Tony Robbins stuff that I used to listen to a lot. I used to and I have them on MP3. And would it be nice to, because I didn't want to put them on my phone. I don't want to take up my phone space. I like to keep my phone space for videos and family stuff, pictures and things like that. I don't want to fill up my phone with MP3 files. I have Spotify. If I want to listen to music when I'm in the bus, I go to Spotify. But I like this option for that. That's a bedside radio. I got my MP3 player also. It's my bedside radio, right, for AM broadcast, But I could put my MP3s in here and listen to my audio courses. Oh, sorry. I could listen to my audio courses that I haven't heard in years. And this plays MP3, WMA, and FLAC. I have all three formats. I have like 50, 60 gigs of audio files of old Napster. I got music from Napster days. I still have them. I have music from Kazaa, LimeWire. I have audio courses that I downloaded, LimeWire. I have audio courses. I have financial courses that I would love to listen to, like whenever I want. I could put them now on a 16 or 32 gigabyte SD card. Okay, Sanjay, you okay? Okay, I just want to know. And I could put it in here and I could listen to it on my bedside with nothing special. You just listen to it. And that's why I like this feature for this radio. I know there's other music, but I don't own any of them. This is my first one that I had MP3 playback. And of course, this one. But it never appealed to me until I got this one because of the audio. And I said, man, because when I heard the music, the YouTube music on this, it sounded pretty good. And I made a short video on that. But definitely, you okay? You need anything? Okay. Thank you, Sanjay. And yeah, so it's a niche type thing that it appealed to me. And I'm not saying it because I could say that people say, oh yeah, you just saying that because of, but I only own this is only my second radio that I had, this MP3. The other one is this one, but it never appealed to me But when I tried the MP3 playback with this one, I realized that, you know what, I could use that as my bedside radio. And I have one other one that has this one, the little Texan. But that one is so small, the audio. But this one, the audio is so much better that I could listen to this one. I could put this one on my bedside and listen to my audio courses. And I wear headphones. Because I can't lay down with headphones. I tried that whole headphone thing too. It's hard for me to lay down with headphones. This one I could put it low enough, but I could listen to audio. And I listen to like I got like memory power. I have a lot of audio courses that I downloaded. And I want to listen to them. But I didn't want to put them on my phone. So this solves that problem. For me, it solves the problem. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be using this a lot with this one. I have a 16 gig on that one that for the demo. I'm going to put it on this one. But I'm going to fill that one up with my audio courses stuff. And I'm going to be using, I'm going to use this like when I don't want to hit AM broadcast at night, I'll put on an audio course. Audio books. Like I don't have no audible.com account. I don't have any of that. But I do have audio books that I downloaded years ago that I never came around to listen to. I have a Network Plus course. It's probably old by now, but it's an audio course. It's like 2-hour audio. I would love to listen to the whole audio, but I can't listen to it on the computer. If I'm sitting here listening to it, I'll fall asleep. But I could see myself playing it every night and listen to it. And because there is some, I'm gonna believe in this one. I know people are gonna say, well, yeah, whatever. It's called subliminal listening or subliminal. Some people call it programming. I don't like that word. If you listen to something long enough, you'll learn it. And a lot of these audio courses, you play it, you put it on, you leave it on the audio. I mean, you play it, you leave it on your bedside, you listen to it every night, and you'll memorize everything that person said. And because you're in a relaxed state. And I've done that with a lot of audio courses I learned over the years. And you learn more by listening than watching. I learned a lot. So I have a lot of courses I download over the years, and some of it I never even got to listen. I probably heard it briefly, and because you got to remember that 25 years ago, this was unheard of to have a radio with MP3. You had to either get the iPod and all that, which is nice, and you got the docking thing, but you had to buy the docking thing, or you had to hook it up. And this is all, and this I could just go forward, but just play what I want to play, and that's it. I could put a little list of things I want to listen to, and that's it. And I could put it in the computer in and out. No iTunes, no third-party software. I could just in and out. And of course I had this one, but I could look at the audio. It's not that the audio is really low on this one. And that one, plus that one was cumbersome. It was up here. This one is right here. And then the other thing I like about this is this. I could leave it on. That's a big plus for this one. I like to leave this, especially at night when I'm listening to the radio, I'm laying down. This is the only light I want to have. I could feel my way, and I say, okay, bing, 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 bing. I already got it to the point where I can feel my way because of the light is enough that I can feel my way. And I didn't have that with this radio at night, laying down. A couple of times by accident, I actually did something else to it. I was like, oh my God, don't tell me I got to reset the radio. I put it on sleep mode or something like that, something trivial. With this one, with the backlit, I didn't have to worry about that. I was like, oh my God, So it has a niche thing. If you want to compare it to this one, it's a niche thing. And that's the difference between you buying this and not buying this. If you look at it solely for like, it doesn't have airband, it doesn't have single sideband, then it's not for you. It's not going to be for you. Even at $50, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be in for you. But the more I play around with the MP3 thing, I'm sorry, MP3 player, and I realized, man, I can use that for my audio stuff. And then I was like, you know what? I think this will be the solution. So I have a whole library up there. I'm gonna start going through my. I have an external hard drive there that I have. All of it is in there. I'm gonna start putting it in the SD card and put in, you know. And now I have two of them. I have two of them, so now I can put one collection here, one collection. I can just say, okay, I want to listen to this collection today. I just play this. I have two of them, so you know what? But this definitely, I'm definitely going to be using this feature a lot. The Bluetooth feature, not much because I already have Bluetooth speaker. I have a bigger one. It's called Reacher. It's a brand called Reacher. And it's a pretty big one. But I want to try with this one too. See, but you know, that's not the feature I use a lot, the Bluetooth speaker. And I have a real big Bluetooth speaker anyway. I use that for parties. So the Bluetooth speaker part, I don't see myself using it. But the MP3 player, I'm definitely going to see myself using that. And it's only a player, it's not a recorder. It does not record. It only plays MP3s. Okay, so I want to make that clear. So there you go on that. Move the box over here. Okay. And Brian Jackson, good evening. I have another question for you. I noticed that you have a radio scanner. I would like to know the police bands in your area. Are they on digital set? No, some of it is still analog. The frequency are usually from. I can show you real quick. Let me see if I have it hooked up. Oh, sorry. Let me switch it. What you see it? Let me hold it. Hold. There's the hold. I forgot what the hold. Oh, right here. All right. So, first of all, let me give you a link. It's called radioreference.com. And you go to, because you live in Mount Vernon, right? So you're right near me. Because that means you might get Mount Vernon police. I don't get Mount Vernon police. I get Yonkers police. But they're on a different frequency. When you buy the scanner, this is what okay, easier tip. When you buy the scanner, or if you have a scanner, usually whatever police band they already have in there, that usually will fit, you get most of it. In my case, you know, a lot of the New York City Police Department is on the UHF range. So it's going to be from around 460 megahertz up to 485. But they have some that go up to 500. I picked up some at 800. But the majority is going to be 460 to 485 or so, or 490, right below 490, 460 to 490 megahertz. A lot of it is going to be that's New York City Police. Yonkers Police, I picked them up at 150 megahertz, 150 megahertz, 154 megahertz, somewhere around there. What else? I mean, I could do a scan and you'll see, but let me see. You know what? Let me load the scroll.
Have a valid permit, okay?
Now that I want them to scan, they're really active now. Yeah, they're really active right now. Something's. Okay, I'm gonna lower it. You just want to see it. But I will go to radio reference. Again, I don't want to go on the computer here because I don't want right now. The stream is good, and I have to call Optimus see what's going on because I don't want to open up too many stuff and then boom, I get a hiccup and there goes my stream, and I don't want to be doing this all the time. But I'm gonna tell you, go to radioreference.com. There's gonna be data. I think it's databases. You're gonna go in there. You're gonna see the map of the United States. You're going to click on your state. Then you're going to go down to your county. And then you'll see what you can pick up. It's going to give you a list of all the stuff that you can pick up. Police, fire department, EMS. It's going to tell you right there what frequency. And it's gonna tell you what type of mode. A lot of it's gonna be different modes. Some of it is gonna be digital mode, is encrypted mode. In our case, we still have a lot of analog. I pick up New York City Police. This is New York City Police. You know, and I haven't done any programming on there. This is with the stock database, not the stock data, the stock frequencies, because in general they are on those frequencies anyway, even if it's digital. Because like when I went to Indiana, I put those frequencies on my SDR. I saw a lot of signals, but they were all digital. You couldn't hear anything. They were all like like different. I could tell they were digital. I know there was no voice. They were all digital. So in Indiana, even with that little mag mount antenna, I was picking up police. Indianapolis. I was, I saw it on my SDR. It was crazy, but it was all digital. And of course, there's programs you can use for some of it, but I didn't want to do it. And I don't have a digital scanner, so I can't show you that either. And some of it, you're not going to be able to. A lot of it, you're not going to be able to encrypt anyway. I mean, decrypt. Excuse me, decrypt. Yeah, because they're encrypted. You're not going to be able to. So the best I can tell you is, just scan. The scan, that's what it does. You put scan, put police, let it scan. And you see the frequencies often. Right now, I just saw 151 megahertz. That's Yonkers police, most likely. Now I got 453 megahertz. That could be also, because not only you have NYPD, you also have sheriff.
Another transport to 2 different locations.
Because you also have sheriff, New York City sheriff. You have all this other stuff. Again, 400 something. But that's all in radio reference. Go to radioreference.com and just start looking at the site. And there's a link called database. You go in there, you're going to see the map of the United States. You got to go to your state, go down to your county, to even your city. I went all the way down to Yonkers. And I saw all the stuff I pick up on Yonkers. But I pick up more than that. I pick up not only Yonkers, I pick up New York City stuff. I also pick up county stuff, Westchester County Police. That's almost the same frequency, but sometimes I hear Westchester County Police. I also picked up, I'm right near the Hudson. I also picked up New Jersey, right across the river, right across the Hudson River. New Jersey State Troopers. I picked up that. And Mount Vernon is east of me. I have not picked up anything on Mount Vernon Police or anything like that. I probably could have picked it up. I probably picked it up and I didn't know it. But most of the time is Yonkers Police or up there like Ardsley. I picked up police from Ardsley before, but that's more like summertime. And you can pick up a little further sometime. They call Tropo, or sometimes I could pick up something a little further up. I was like, when I picked up, but like I said, a lot of it already is in those fixed frequencies that your scanner already has. They already have blocks allocated to that stuff. So you just let the scanner do its thing. And even if it's digital, they might be in the same frequency, but it's going to be different mode. So, and that stuff, you're not going to be able to, you're going to hear like, you might hear some noise, and that's probably digital. You're not going to be able to, because that's what happened in Indiana. I put this, I just put the SDR. I went through the bands that I normally pick up over here, and I got signals, but they weren't audible. So I knew it was digital. All right, take care, Dish, and thank you for stopping by. And I'll see you next time. And thank you for stopping. And have a good night. So right now we're 2 hours and 19 minutes in. 9 people watching and 10 likes. Thank you. Yeah, I have this one has trunking, but I haven't learned. That's another thing. This scanner that I have, let me just put it over here. See, what I recommend people in the beginning is to get a simple scanner like this one. This one is simple. It's only analog. There's no trunking. There's none of that. You just put it and you're off and running. But you're only going to pick up what you're going to pick up analog stuff. This one is trunking, but I still am learning just basic stuff. I keep forgetting. This one has a huge learning curve. This one has trunking, but it's analog. Then you have a step up, which is digital. I don't have that scanner. I don't have any of those. I don't plan to buy any of those because from what I get here is more than enough. I don't see myself buying a digital scanner because I'm still learning this one. And unless I get a real good deal on one, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Not much I can do with it because, like I said, I would like to master this one because it is trunking and then go from there. But it's a lot of stuff. And you get to all these things. When I got to this one, it was this one will keep you busy. Here in because I live next to New York City. There's a lot of people here. There's a lot of police force here, a lot of different agencies. Not only New York City, but we have Yonkers, we have Westchester County, we have New York State. Right across the river, I have New Jersey. It's a lot here. There's already a lot here. There's a lot going on here already. Now, where I was staying at in Indiana, I noticed it was like, man, it was tough, slim pickings too. Even the weather, I could pick up 4. I got 4 NOAA weather here. I could pick up 4. Over there, I only could pick up 1. 1 NOAA weather. That's it. The other 4 were not even close. No signal at all. Nothing. Dead. Here, I could pick up 4 NOAA. 4 separate channels of NOAA. New York City one. There's one upstate. There's one. I could pick them up regularly. Of course, one is a stronger. 2 are pretty strong. One is like okay. The other one is. But I could pick 4 on a regular basis. Over there, 1. That's it. 1. So it depends on where you live at. It depends on the situation. I'm fortunate for that part. I'm not complaining about, I wish I lived somewhere quieter. But that part of it, I like about here is I can still listen to this stuff here. Now, if I live somewhere in the middle of somewhere where it's a lot quieter, a lot more sparse, my scanner will probably be useless. So it depends on this. So I would say, Brian, you live in Mount Vernon, which is right here. Go to Radio Reference and just, you'll see a lot of signals. You'll pick up a lot. I picked up railroad, transit trains. I picked it up, train yards. I picked up, of course, taxis, everything. You pick up a lot. I picked up a lot. So, Jim Radio Check, I had to buy a scanner that got the trunking system. Oh, I thought you already had one. Okay. Jim Radio Check, I finally ran a ground wire outside to a pole, pounded into the ground, and hooked it up to the Eton 750, and it works a lot better. Yeah. I have a few poles that I put, not pole, they're really copper pipe. They're not the 8-foot solid copper. I need to get one of those to make a true ground. But I had a long piece of, I think it was like 12 feet. It was a 12 feet. It could have been 10 feet, actually. About 10 feet of copper pipe. I cut it in half. Actually, more than half. I pounded one over there by the end fed. The remaining piece, I pounded it behind the garage. And I have that MFJ, the pole, is grounded into that, the mass. But I could use that as a ground too. But is it a true 8-foot solid copper ground rod? No, it's not. I need to get one of those and try it, but I just pounded it into the ground because it was just a piece of copper sitting out there doing nothing in the garage. So I pounded it into the ground. So I have 2 copper pipes grounded into the ground. And because I was gonna do I know the reason why I did it too, because I was gonna do a ground dipole, like a ground antenna, like a dipole. So I was gonna hook one in. Hello, Dwayne Twevitt, and from Tennessee. How's it going? So I have one ground pounded over there, and so I was gonna do a dipole, run a wire connected on both, do like a ground dipole and try that. I was gonna experiment with that. So it's a dipole on the ground, but each end of the dipole is hooked up to a ground rod to see if that works well on VLF. I seen a couple of videos on somebody doing, because I know you guys heard of the ground loop antenna. The loop on the ground is called all ground. So yeah, hold on, I'll be right back. Somebody's knocking on the door. Yeah. Yeah, I know it. Well, UPS. Why? Package. Let me go upstairs. No, I know, because that's UPS. Money for a couple of times. Almost done. All right. Packages. No, not the FCC. It's a package. UPS. Yeah, they're banging on the door because I put a sign to leave it back then. I had the alley open. So I put a sign. I said, can you leave the package in the... Anyway, at least he didn't toss it over the gate. A couple of hard drives for my server, for my new server. So, yes, I got another server. Another server. So I'm going to make videos on that. I had to, I'm going to set up a network attached storage. So I'm going to make a whole walkthrough on that on my server, on my channel. So, yes, I bought a couple of hard drives. I'm going to fill it up with, and I want to fill it up with 6 hard drives. 6 hard drives. They're all going to be combined into one to make one big storage place. So I got to make video on that. So I'm buying these hard drives. I'm buying, and by the way, James Farley, that was another contribution. I bought a couple of hard drives with that money. So I spent it all right there. So I got 2 hard drives. So now I need one more. I need one more of these. So I have 5 now. I need one more, and then I could get the server going. and the because I moved the hard drives to my new server. The old one, I'm gonna populate that with the same type of drive, same capacity, and I'm hoping I could get let me see, 12 terabytes on that old server. I'm gonna see if I can put a turn it into a 12 terabyte mass storage. And what I'm gonna do is all the videos that I uploaded and all that, instead of keeping them on this computer and a bunch, I'm just gonna put them all there. Boom. Because right now my old videos are all over the place. So I'm trying to centralize everything, and I can put them there, and then get a dedicated drive to back that up. And I'm gonna have the other server back up the other server. It's a whole, it's content for the other channel. Dan Tech Geek, and that's the server right there. That's the server thing, and that's the new one. The one at the. This is the old one. I'm sorry. Let me just put the thing right there. All right. This is the old one. This is the new one. So that's what I'm doing. I already backed everything out of here. I'm gonna wipe this one out. And I'm gonna make a video on this one first. Because these all these drives are populated in there already. So this is 8 terabytes total. This one is going to be 12 terabytes. And I'm going to have these two back each other up. Network storage. Right now, I don't even have 2 terabytes of data total. But, for future. I know it's obsessive, and I'm going to have another server one day. Another one. So there you go. So that's my other obsession. Network storage. The tech guy. Danny, the tech guy, the tech geek. Dan Tech Geek. So that's my other channel. If you want to subscribe to that. That channel is growing very fast now. I got 100 and how much is it? Let me check. Oh, I don't want to go there now because let me look. I'm going to check on my phone because I don't want to kill the. I'm telling you right now, I don't want to do anything on this thing right now. I'll tell you right now. I can do it here. And I see oh my God, look at my thumbnail. What the hell's wrong with my thumbnail? Look, I need to fix that after the stream. So let me check my channels. On my channels tab. So I got 137 subscribers now. So I blew by the 100 mark. So now I'm 137 subscribers on that channel. Every day I'm getting a new subscriber on that channel. That's how fast it's growing. Every day. Every day or almost every other day. I got 1 or 2 new subscribers. And I have only 4 videos on there. So there's going to be a whole series of that now. And then, I said it one day. I think in a few years that channel might overtake this channel in terms of subscribers, because tech is a lot more broader, especially when you're talking about computer repair, computer this, computer that. Oh my God, so I got a lot of subscribers fast on that one. I'm getting more, and I got one video that is about to hit 8,000 views, and it's only a little almost not even 2 months old. So I can see that channel eventually. But this is the channel that I like to be in a lot because I love radio. The other channels of course there's a channel that I'm monetized on right now. The crypto channel, I haven't been on that much lately because crypto market's been horrible lately. And the retro gaming channel, I need to do videos on that soon. It's just lately I've been so busy. I haven't had time to relax and play video game on the stream. So there you go. So that's why the FCC knocking on my door. Is it what I did now? What I did, I was just joking about the amplifier. Because I don't know what's going on with my antenna lately. It happened since yesterday on my Zygo. I can't FTL, I can't go 20 watts. It won't let me. It caps it around 5 or 6 watts. And I try everything. I try, the antenna. When I had that issue before, it was wrapped around the branch. I fixed that. I think I might have to redo that antenna. Maybe put it on either shorten the wire a little bit and put it away from because right now it's kind of sitting on the pine tree. And instead of coming down like this now, it's kind of like, and I don't know, that's messing with SWR. Because the Zygo, if your SWR is not up to par, I think any transceiver does that. But nope, no 20 watts, nope. So it's capping me at 5 watts. And I'm like, okay, and I'm trying different things. I'm trying, I checked my connections. I went outside, looked at the antenna. Unless something happened within the box. Maybe because what happened was a few days ago, some kid went in my backyard. My wife told me. There was a cat climbed up the tree. Not where the MFET is at, not that branch. But the kid, when he went back there, when my wife went outside to see what the hell he's doing in the backyard, he's playing around with the wire. And I wasn't out there. I would have told him, yo, please do not touch my wire. First of all, why are you in my backyard? So I wasn't there. My wife went out there and he said, no, my cat is up on the tree. And the cat didn't want to come down. He kept going up. It was up there. It was up like about 30, almost 40 feet up on the tree. It was way up there. And the cat wound up staying up there all night. So if I would have been transmitting at that moment, he would have got zapped. Because when that happened, I was in the basement. I was doing the live stream. That was the last Friday's live stream. I was doing the live stream because I heard somebody going by. I thought it was delivery or something. I don't know what it was. I thought because my wife was upstairs that day. It turned out that the guy went in. Yeah, I'm gonna do raid too. But I'm gonna the guy went back to looking for the guy, but then he started touching the wire. My wife told him, please don't do that. Don't mess with the wire. And he was like being curious, touching the wire. When he went in my backyard, he could see the wire going all the way up to the top. So I asked her, was he jerking the wire? Was he doing something? Because I don't know if he pulled the wire, he might have messed it up on the inside. Maybe I'm gonna have to open up that box and inspect it. And I didn't want to do that because that means now I can't. I'm down for now until I can figure it out. Anyway, I'm gonna try it again tomorrow, and then after that, I'm gonna have to open up that box and look at it because I don't know if he jerked the wire to something. I don't know what I'm PG ready. I'm trying to keep it. I don't know what the idiot did. He's touching the wire, and if I would have went out there, I would have told him first of all, why are you in my backyard? You're not supposed to be here. This is private property. Number two, don't touch any of my stuff. Okay, because I got 3 loop antennas out there. Okay, and one of them is worth $300. That's my MFJ, over $300. Don't touch my stuff. And I got the MFED. I would have went off on him because he was a teenager. He was like, they live across the street. So the cat wanted to stay up there all night. So late at night before I went to bed, I put foil paper, a bowl of foil paper, big foil paper. I had tuna. I put a bunch of tuna on it. I left it on top of my garage roof, but he could see it. I kept trying to coerce the cat. So look, and I even put the flashlight there. I got a flashlight. You chargeable flashlight, a big one. I put that in. I'm telling the cat, come down. There's food. Because I know that you can motivate the cat from coming down if you put food nearby. And the next morning, the cat came down. And when I looked at the food was gone. So because he was up there, it was freezing. I was trying to get So I was doing that here, kitty, kitty. You know what I mean? And he looked at me. He was scared. My poor cat was scared. It was kind of chilly. So I'm like, oh my God, I hope he doesn't So I said, you know what, Annie? My wife, I said, Annie, I'm gonna put food out there, and hopefully that'll motivate. Cause I don't know if it's a female cat. I don't even know. I just said motivate, her to, and then I read up on it that put something like tuna, but they could smell it, and that'll motivate them to come down. You need something to motivate them to come down, because the cat was probably frightened. Because I don't own a cat. I'm not a. But I did some reading, right, real quick, and it said a lot of cats love to climb up trees, and they get themselves in trouble, and they don't know how to climb back down. They get frightened and they stay up there, and then because I called the police. Not the police, but I called the non-emergency number. I called the non-emergency number. Of course, they told me, there's nothing we can do about that. There's nothing we can do about that. Cats usually climb down by themselves, but she was pretty far up. She was as high as the end fed. On the other side of the tree, she was on this side of the tree. Where the end fed was on this side. The end fed is about 40 feet up at the top. She was about there. She was way up above the house. I'm looking right up on her. The bright yellow. And when I put the flashlight on, you can see her eyes glowing, of course, with the light. And I'm saying, come on, get down. Come on, kitty. And she's just looking at me, frightened. And I was like, okay. So I said, I'm going to put the food here. And I kept showing her the food. I was like, look, this is for you. It's right here waiting. It's for you. And I went inside. And then the following morning, I got up early. I went outside. The cat was gone. And I looked at the garage roof. The food was gone. Lickety split. She cleaned that foil paper with all that tuna that was in there. She ate that whole tuna. And then when I went inside, my wife told me, no, they came this morning, they saw the cat, and they were happy. And I was like, yeah, did you mention that I left food there for her and all that? And it was because of me that the cat finally came down. Because she was telling me that the cat was running away from them. They were trying to encourage her to come down, and the cat was running further up. So I'm like, I guess the cat doesn't like them or something, or they must be doing something to that cat. Why would a cat run away from them? I don't know. So I was telling my wife, I said, if I grab that cat, I'm going to adopt them. I'm going to take her. She's mine. I'm going to. But of course, because I was like, because I was out there for like an hour trying to encourage the cat to come down at night. I was like, and I said, you know what? I can't be out here all night. And I said, I'm going to leave you some food here. And then, you know what? And I left the flashlight pointing at it. So and I put the backyard light on too. I left the backyard light on all night on too. So so you can see it. Because it was pitch black. If I leave the back light off, my backyard is pitch black. So I left the light on. I said, no, I need to leave the light on for so she could, maybe she's pitch dark up there and she's scared. And she found her way down. She came down the following morning. She ate the food and then they got her. Then they went, oh, you kid. I was like, okay, yeah. And now I went outside early. She's looking out the window. She's staring at me out the window today. I was in the backyard. I was messing with the end fed. And I'm looking through. I see the window across the street. And she's looking right at me. Like, that's the guy that gave me the food. I'm going to go back up there. I'm going to go to his yard one day. And I think I'm going to stay there. So then next time I see her around, I'll leave some food for her, But it was kind of, it was because I was like, oh my God, I don't want to leave the cat out there all night. Because I didn't know she was out there. And I told Annie, Annie, what happened with the cat? I don't know. Did you check? I said, no. So when I went out there at night, I checked. I saw the cat there still. And I was like, you kidding me? It's been 12 hours since the cat been up there. And I read that cats can be up on a tree for as long as 2 weeks. I didn't know that. I did not know that. I'm like, no, there's no way that cat's going to stay up there for 2 weeks. It's too cold. I said, no, I'm going to leave food down there, and she's going to come down there, and she's going to get... And she did. The following morning, she came down and got that food and left. Or they took her. Because apparently they saw her on the roof there eating the food, and she had finished the food. And they finally said, oh, look, the cat is here, and they grabbed the cat. Not even a thank you, nothing, by the way. No thank you from any of them so far. It's been already a few days. No thank you, no nothing. You know? Wow. So I thought I wanted to share that story. So I don't know if the kid messed with my antenna, because ever since that day, my SWR been going crazy. With I don't, you know, and I moved around a couple of times. It worked for a little while. Then yesterday, it finally, you know, I had to reset the radio because there's nothing to tell you to reset. I don't want to be resetting the radio every time that happens. But I'm going to move it out of there. I think I'm going to have to put it. I'm going to have to put it the way I want to put it. I want to put it on a pole. I may do a dipole. Maybe do or inverted V. But now I'm leaning toward dipole. Like, and all the way in the corner, maybe put up a pole, and then have it from this end of the house, end of the yard, and just boom, and then have a dipole, and just run it into here. And that's another thing. And right now, there's no foliage yet. When I get foliage and more branches, I think the MFET is going to get tangled up with more branches. So I think eventually the MFET is going to have to come down because it's just too many branches. You know, I kind of foresee that. I saw that. I foresaw that before. But now it's more evident now that, because now my pine tree is in the middle. I have a big pine tree that's growing, and the MFET goes right through the middle of it, and it's touching the pine tree too. So I don't know. I'll figure it out. There's other ways to that. I like the inverted L option, or inverted V, or a dipole. Yeah, I was talking about that. Yeah, Jim's radio check. Oh, no, let me see. Oh, Bruce Holm. Hello, Bruce Holm. And maybe he saw that. I don't know what possessed the cat to climb up that tree. I mean, that is the biggest tree in this area. Is that tree, the one that's next to the one that where the NFET is at now, the city tree? That's the biggest tree. But the kids came in my yard, and I don't like that. I make it clear to people: do not come in because this is the second time that happened. A long time ago, I had a tree on this side. It was a thorny tree, but it was about 4 stories high. And it was a nice little tree that I had a lot of shade on this side. That would have been a perfect tree. Between that tree and that tree, I could have run a nice dipole. But at that time, the kid was about 10. He climbed up that tree. And I went out to my backyard, and I looked up one day, and I saw him there. And I said, why are you on my tree? First of all, why are you in my backyard? And why are you up on that tree all the way up there? You know, you could fall from there and get hurt. And guess who's going to get sued? I'm going to get sued. Because, then, you know, some lawyer's going to say, well, you left your backyard accessible, and therefore you're liable. You know, because, you know, they'll sue you for anything. And at that time, they had a hole in my fence. And I asked the kid, how did you get in my backyard? Oh, I went through the hole in the fence. I said, oh, boy. So I had somebody chop down that tree. And then that hole in the fence, I covered it up, and I put that tarp around the fence. So now, of course, this kid went through the gate. The gate was unlocked. He's opened the gate, helped himself in the yard. And I don't like that. I don't like people going to my yard. I mean, it's my property. I don't, especially, you go to my yard. You should ask first. You should knock on my door. and ask, "Oh, listen, my cat's in your yard. Can you?" Okay, don't just walk into my yard, because you know what? You can get a lot of trouble doing that. You know, and I'm not gonna say why, because I'm not me, but you know, well, first of all, it was the middle of the day. Different. He was a kid, but still, I don't want nobody walking in my yard. That's it. But then my wife said that he was playing around with the wire, and I'm like, okay, you know what? Going to somebody's yard is one, but when you start touching their stuff, that really annoys me. It annoys me that you're in my yard already. You know, if I could put taller fences, I would. I'm just that type of person. I don't want nobody in my yard. I don't want nobody. The delivery guy goes in my yard because I leave the gate open. I put a sign there. Put it in my yard because I don't like leaving package in front of my house because porch thieves or porch pirates, whatever you want to call them. So I leave the gate open. When I know I'm getting a delivery, I put a sign in the front of my. Please put the delivery in the back. Go in the alley. Put it in the backyard right there. I got cameras. I can see you, and then I will get it. You don't have to pound my door to death. Of course, eventually I have to get Ring. I don't have Ring. I have to get Ring. You know, I need Ring. That's what I need. So when somebody walks in front of my door, I get the alert and say, yeah, can I help you while you're in front of my house? Okay, just leave it right there. I'll be right out. Thank you. You know, you don't have to pound my door. I put a sign there. That's what the guy was doing, pounding my door. And I'm like, I ran upstairs. Because my son got startled. Oh my God. So we're going to 3 hours now, and I spend the last 10 minutes talking about somebody messing with my antenna. Yeah, Jim's ready to check. Have you ever heard of people running their antennas on receive antennas? Loop on the ground, they call log, right? Log, L-O-G. Loop on the ground. That's what I heard. I heard that. There's a Facebook group dedicated to that. I'm a part of that group. I want to build a loop on the ground, but that's for listening. I don't know about transmitting. I don't know. I know for receiving. Yeah, I heard of that. I heard people do like a box loop on the ground or rectangular loop, very low to the ground or on the ground itself. I think one person even had it buried, had the wire literally, the ground, the loop was under the ground, like with a little amount of that you could mow the lawn on top of it. People use like all different stuff. They use like the camping spikes, the plastic ones, and they pound it into the ground where it could barely be see it, and then they just run the wire, and then they tie it into a balun. I heard good things about it. I heard that the noise is low, very low noise. It's not gonna be a lot of gain on it, but it's very low noise. And I heard of amplified ones, but I'm not sure about it. But I know passive ones, very low noise. I think a couple of people experimented with a like amplified version. I thought about trying something like that, but not now. Eventually I'm thinking about doing one, but I wanted to fix up the yard first because I might do one permanent, but I want to do one below where even if I mow the lawn, it's gonna be right on the ground. The wire's gonna be right on the ground. Now you can walk over it, nobody won't trip over it or nothing. Because I have plastic what do they call? Camping for camping. I have big plastic ones. Hammer it into the ground. So I was thinking about doing a dipole and use the ends with the ground rods. It's gonna be my own my own experiment. Like a ground rod dipole. So both ends are gonna be both ends of the dipole are gonna be connected to ground rods, two ground rods. And then you got the middle balun to the house. Yeah, 10 pegs. Okay, yeah, that's another, yeah, 10 pegs. So I have a few of those that I bought. I have the bigger ones and I have smaller ones. I have some that I bought when I have my when I used to put my inflatables outside in my backyard. My Halloween, not Halloween, my Christmas inflatables. I used to have so I had a few of those pegs too. But I haven't been putting them the last few years because they get annoying. The wind blows all over the place. But I collected a few of them, so I always wanted to use them for that. I also probably going to use a couple of them for if I do an inverted V. You know, from the top, anchor one end and then the other end, and yeah, 10 pegs. But I probably do more of a permanent. If I do an inverted V, I probably do more permanent setup. I'll just put a long stick in it, pound it into the ground, and just have it drill a hole through it, and use something like that. I want to do something more permanent. I want to try to fix this problem, but I'm thinking long term I might have to move that end fed. I'm looking more to something. Just have it in the middle of the yard. Put a long pole in the middle and just do an inverted V. And first of all, it'll be in my yard. Second of all, I don't have to worry about what happens to that tree and anybody messing with it. You know, because the problem with the end fed is when you walk into my yard, you can see that wire coming all the way down, and then at that end it gets really low, and it's right there. You can't miss it when you walk in my yard. You can see what the hell is that wire doing there. I think the neighbor already noticed it too. He was looking at it the other day. He was talking to somebody and he was looking at the wire, and so yeah. So anyway, so I'm definitely gonna make review. Okay, this is the new one. Let me make sure. I don't want to play a 3-card Monty. Yeah, this is the new one. Plus, I kept the late. Okay, hold on. Plus, I kept the label on it, the plastic. I'm gonna peel it out. But anyway, this is the new one. So I'm gonna make reviews on this. I'm gonna make videos on this one from now on. And that one, I'm just gonna put it in the boiler room. Use it for my everyday radio. You just leave it a different. So this is the one I'm gonna use. So anyway, so reviews coming up soon on this. What else I want to cover before I sign off? It's about to be 3 hours. I think I'm gonna call it nights, and yeah, I'm gonna call it a night. 3 hours, and not much else to cover tonight. Plus, I gotta make something for my son. I'm gonna cook. So stay tuned for these videos coming up. And yep, I'm gonna do a full review soon. And I think I'm gonna sign off now. 2 hours and 58 minutes. It's gonna be 3 hours. I think that's good for today. And I just want to thank everybody for stopping by. And thank you. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Andy, Jim, Bruce, Glenn, Dwayne, Adesh. Let me just go down the list here. Thank everybody. George, Married the Xer, Robert Varner, James Farley, Farn Jackson, thank you. And Bobby Aziz, thank you. And Peter, Peter, well, yeah, and Glenn Dansler. So thank you, everybody, for stopping by. And good night, everybody. I'll see you back on Thursday. So take care, everybody. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.